rain is all gone. There's no tears, no sorrow. What's up, bitches? Welcome to Deliciously Nothing, episode 125. My name is Nic Weir. I'm my regular co-host.
I'm Rev.
He didn't silence his phone.
Again.
2 days in a row, 2 episodes in a row. And I got my guest, Captain Stinky, big sexy himself.
This whole
John
intro,
Dollar.
this whole intro is just coming in hot. What's up, bitches? Boodaloo. What the fuck is going on here?
We are so professional here at Deliciously Nothing, and we're happy to have you here tonight.
It's good to
John.
be here. Saloon, fellas. Get a little stanky.
We're already a little stinky today. My car didn't start when I was trying to get here, and I was so pissed off and stressed out for a moment.
I've had like car issues where I've been like sitting in the car waiting for the tow truck to come, and I just get so pissed off. It's like, you know the scene in Raising Arizona where John Goodman's punching the roof of the car? Fuck! Like, I've literally done that. It's like, why does this shit always happen to me?
Dude,
But it always happens in the worst times, too. It's never at a time where, like, it's always when you're either on the way for something or you're broke and you don't have the money to fix it.
Exactly.
It's always, like,
It's
at
always
the worst times.
And it's never like a moment where it's like, oh, well, you know, fuck it. I can just get it towed, and it's easy, and this will take 20 minutes, and I'll get it right down, and it'll be fixed tomorrow. It's always something where it's like, well, what the fuck am I going to do for a week? Am I going to have to pay an Uber just to get to work? This shit sucks.
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
Dude, that would be fucking miserable to have to sit with a Uber driver.
Multiple times a day.
Yes, and like each one, almost every single one of them is going to small talk you the whole way.
Because
You
they
know,
want the tip.
Yeah. And I never really complain too much when an Uber driver small talks me, because it's like, it's either that or just sit in silence in this car with the stranger, which is more uncomfortable to me. So when I was up in Fort Wayne for those 5 shows at Summit City, I got a fucking flat tire. It's like after that first night, I was like, this is going so great already. This is like the biggest opportunity in my life. And then the back right tire just, it's like, motherfucking, you just can't let me have the weekend. You just can't let me have this, can you? So I was like driving back.
After the shows, or
This is after the Thursday night show. So I
shit.
still have 4 more to go.
See, this was while you're driving home from, like,
Yeah.
driving back to your hotel.
From the first show at the club. And so the Uber driver that picked me up, because I thank Christ, I pay like $200 goddamn dollars a month for my horrible insurance, but they can cover the tow and get it all taken care of. But the guy who picked me up, he was telling me about, somehow the conversation, because the Roadway Inn I was staying at was next to a strip club. So as the guy picked me up, he was like, he looked at the address as he was driving. He's like, "You sure you want to go here? You sure this is the spot you want to hit up?" And it's like, I already know, man. It's a shithole. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, I just wanted to be sure." It's like, it seemed like you're already having a rough night. I didn't want anything.
Did you go to the strip club?
No, because
Okay.
I know all my money is going to be going to replacing this fucking tire. So I got to save that. I can't be throwing it at hot bitches. So as the guy was telling me that, and this is why sometimes it's great to talk to Uber drivers, because he told me that he went to a strip club in a dry county. So there was no booze at this strip club. And he was sitting there being like the ladies would come up to him and be like, "Hey, you want a drink?" He'd be like, "Yeah, hell yeah, you got to have a drink at a club." And they brought him just like a Diet Coke.
Oh,
And it's like,
no.
this is $7. And he's like, "What
Right.
kind of fucking racket are you running here?" And I remember telling him, it's like, what kind of a maniac goes to a strip club sober? Who's like sober and just sitting at the strip club just like, "I just like to watch them dance.
I know.
Just like to watch them move." It's like, oh, God.
That is so strange.
You gotta be high or fucking drunk or something. You can't just
That's
be.
why you go to a strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you should never leave with the express purpose of being like, we're going to the strip club. It should always be a place you end up at
Right.
after a couple poor decisions prior, and you and your buddies like, let's fucking go, man. It's never
Yeah,
like, I'm
dude,
leaving
or
the
like a
house and
bachelor
going.
party.
Unless you're
That's normally
18.
the
If
only-
it's your 18th birthday,
Then, yeah, that
that's
makes
the
sense.
only
18th
exception.
birthday, yes.
That's the exception.
Or 20 for like those kind of things, I understand.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Now, see, you were about to say 21st. What did you?
21st too, I think. Sure, you know, you get drunk, you get wasted, and once you're like super wasted, go to the club.
How old were you when you first went to your strip club? 18 or 21?
I was 18.
Okay.
I was 23, I think.
No shit.
I was a late bloomer. And there was a nice strip club back home in Missoula, Montana called the Fox Club. It was a pretty great fucking area. It's like it's best case scenario for a strip club. Shout out to the Fox Club.
Hard-working ladies, dude.
They were beautiful,
gorgeous too.
It's like you walk in there and it's like this big, almost kind of like arena space. They had like neon pool tables over here. The VIP area was very well put together and everything. And I walked in, so that was the first time I ever went to a strip club. It's like, oh, they're just all like this? This is so cool. And they're like, no, most of these are not like this.
Yeah, most of them aren't as friendly.
My first was, it was actually right downtown. It was on 3rd Avenue, or maybe it might have even been on 4th Avenue. But it's called the Classic Cat.
Classic Cat.
Yeah, and it was one of those ones like they had a dress code. Like you couldn't go in there dressed like a slob. You couldn't go in there wearing fucking jogging pants. Like you had to be, you know.
So it's lying to itself.
I guess so, yeah.
And we actually are a gentleman's club.
And there wasn't very many like strip clubs back in the day. I remember when they built Deja Vu. Like that was like, I remember their slogans, you know, they have 100 beautiful girls and 3 ugly ones. Like that was their
pretty
motto.
Good metrics, honestly.
Yeah, right. But I don't know. I was never really a big strip club fan. But when like you're 18 and like you have the chance to do something that you've not been allowed to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's almost like kind of a rite of passage where it's like you gotta go at least once, just
like
to see
Amsterdam.
what all the rage is.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to
like
red light district and see what's going on down there.
Yeah.
Get a little stinky, see what.
Get very stinky.
Naked ladies hanging out in the fucking windowsill, just being like, "Oh shit, they just do that over here. That's crazy."
Now, I wouldn't go to Vegas. Like Vegas doesn't like appeal to me at all. But like you know, like Amsterdam is different.
I would go to Vegas.
I
would
would
go to Vegas, and I want to go to a Golden Knights game. I want to see how those crazy people down there act.
I want to go to Vegas, but I want to reenact Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like I want to go down and just go
drink yourself to death.
Well, hallucinogens mainly. Like I want to go with the intention of there being lots of drugs available, and now I believe that like it's a legal place now. I think they have recreational pot and stuff now, so you can pretty much go there and do that without going to jail. Like before, they were very strict. Like you get busted with a joint, you get 25 to fucking life. But now, to be able to go there, like I want to go to like Circus du Soleil and shit like that, tripping acid. Like I want to just go there just for the debauchery of it, not because of anything. And definitely not. It's so expensive when it comes to escorts and women and stuff like that. And I have no interest in gambling. Like, why in the fuck would I want to gamble any money that I would have that I could spend the money on something that I would be interested in doing?
I've always lost when I gambled. I learned pretty quickly this was not for me.
Oh, I 100% will too.
It's funny how you said Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. When I said drink yourself to death, I was thinking of the Nick Cage movie Leaving Las Vegas, where he goes down there and just drinks himself to death and like falls in love with a hooker. Right. But also Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Man, that town does not have a good rap. Like Hunter Thompson. Just getting all fucked up. He was a brilliant writer, though. The only thing that separated him from any other junkie was the fact that he could fucking write like a genius.
That's true.
But you know, it's funny. One of my favorite Hunter Thompson clips, you can still find this on YouTube, where it was like a documentary crew following him. And I don't know if he staged this or not, but it's him just in the middle of a gunfight with another farmer across the field. Just like, you fucking cocksucker, how do you like that? Just like shooting at him. And then it cuts to the interview being like, you know, the founding fathers, the people that made the Constitution, they're good people. You know, they're not one of these bum bitches selling cars down in Southern California. These are real people out here. It's like, what are you talking about?
What is that? That was good.
Yeah, no, man. I was like, I never really like knew anything about him until the Johnny Depp movie came out, and like,
great movie.
I remember the Bill Murray movie, but again, like, I didn't know. I didn't know who the fuck Hunter was, and when that movie came out, to Hunter Thompson.
Cheers. Rest in peace.
When that movie came out, I took my nephew. He was probably like 10 or 11 years old, right?
Too young.
We went and saw it, and we laughed so fucking hard that we wound up, for the next 4 weeks until it was out of the theater, we went back every weekend. We went back and saw
It is
Fear and Loathing.
it's a wild fucking movie.
Dude, just the way that they did the carpets with the acid scene, like they nailed it so perfectly. It was just like finally, because usually when someone's tripping, they just have flashing lights and maybe Mr. Potato Head in the background or something, you know.
But they caught it perfectly, where it's like you can just see everything kind of melting away.
Exactly.
It's because he wrote it so well when he wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
And tripping.
Yeah. That the director's just like, well, we got pretty much the metric right here. Let's just do that. That sounds pretty good. Also, I remember a fun little something where, because Bill Murray played him in Where the Buffalo Roam back in like the 80s. And then about 10 years later was when Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas came out. And Bill Murray reached out to Johnny Depp and told him, like, you got to be real careful playing this dude because you might find yourself still doing that guy in 10 years from now.
So I've heard that too.
It's a tough character to shake.
Well, they wound up getting into the method of it to where they're that character all the time, and so while they're filming, and Jim Carrey does that too, where Jim Carrey was Andy Kaufman for the whole entire set, to the point where Heath Ledger was the Joker for all of his shoot. Yeah, so it's like I get it to the point where you're true to your craft and everything, but then from what I understand, like Jim Carrey being Andy Kaufman for that time wound up really just,
getting too far into it.
Yeah.
I'd say it was kind of at the level where I don't think anyone goes as extreme as Daniel Day-Lewis does for his method acting, where when he played Abraham Lincoln, he wanted everybody on set when they weren't shooting to still speak to him in a Southern accent and address him as Mr. President. So it's like they're basically just hanging out with Abe Lincoln like the entire time shooting. And then by the time it's like they actually wrapped, like I remember hearing the story where Spielberg came up to him and said, all right, Daniel, we're done. That's it. And you see him just kind of slowly shed it off, like his Irish accent starts coming back, and he's just like, I'm going to go keep making shoes, because he's a cobbler. He's like, all right, so we're done with this? Fuck it.
Back to making shoes.
I've heard those stories, but I've never seen a Daniel Day-Lewis movie my whole entire life.
He's fucking fantastic.
I don't know one movie that I've ever seen.
You might have.
Maybe in the background character, as a character actor, but definitely nothing in a leading role.
I mean, have you ever seen Gangs in New York?
Nope.
Dude, that movie's great.
Lincoln's great.
I mean, DiCaprio's in that too.
There Will Be Blood was awesome.
Never saw it.
Phantom Thread was fantastic. Those last two are both Paul Thomas Anderson movies. I'd recommend any of those. And he's done so much more too, but he's fucking fantastic. Probably an insane person. But I love the idea of him, he's actually done acting. A lot of people hang around way the fuck too long.
Yeah.
And it gets real weird watching them after a certain point, but he knew when to call it. It's like Tarantino making his last movie. He's like, it's going to get bad after this. So I'm going out on a high note, and I'm not tarnishing everything I've worked for.
So Tarantino has one more movie left. Do you think
that's what he says?
Do you think he's going to continue on after that? Do you think that this will be the final
As far as films go, he might be serious about that, but I know he's going to keep writing shit.
Or producing.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't stop yourself. If you're that into that kind of art form.
But it's actually been pretty slow. I mean, if you think over the last 30 years, he's only done 8 movies. So, I mean,
He's one of the last living, kind of classic directors where now everyone's, pumping shit out constantly. But guys like Tarantino and Christopher Nolan, they're like, I'm going to take about 4 years to figure this thing out.
Well, they have their own
he's only
signature.
Doing more,
supposedly.
Right.
So here's the thing. When there's a movie that's done by, and Rob Zombie, this is really with Rob Zombie too, but especially with Tarantino, when you have these writer-directors where they're writing the script, but then they're also directing it, doesn't matter who's delivering the dialogue, whether it's male, female, doesn't matter. You always hear, I hear the voice, Kevin Smith also, especially in Dogma. It's like I hear everybody in Kevin Smith's voice, and I can hear just the whole movie. In Rob Zombie movies, all I hear is Rob Zombie's voice because I know his writing style, I know his directing, so everything winds up just being Rob Zombie. Everything that comes out of someone's mouth is...
It all meshes into that.
And Tarantino is the same way. Watching a Tarantino movie, it's especially when Tarantino has these rants. And all these characters wind up having the rants, and you can hear them in Tarantino's voice. And that's one of the things that I love about these guys' movies, is that I know their movies so well that I can hear their actual voice in these movies. And Tarantino is the same thing. When someone starts going in on a rant, it's in Tarantino's voice in my head, and no matter how many times I listen to it, see it, it's always going to have Tarantino's backtrack vocal in the back. It's always going to.
And that was one of the things that made Pulp Fiction so great, because like so many action movies that involve hitmen or anything like that, they focus primarily on the fact of them just like killing everybody and the action of it. But Pulp Fiction's like takes the time to be like, what's these guys' day like? Like, what are they doing on the way to the killing? Like, what are they talking about in the car ride over?
Right.
They're talking about fucking getting McDonald's over in Europe and just sitting there just like shooting the shit.
Or discussing Like a Virgin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite parts, I don't know why it's one of my favorites, but that attention to detail where they're standing outside the door of all those guys they're gonna kill, who stole Marcellus Wallace's briefcase, and Sam Jackson's like, "Hey, what time is it?" And he's like, "It's about 5 minutes to 8." Like, all right, we got some time, and they walk away from the door and they just keep talking. It's like, we don't have to be there till 8.
Right.
We got some time before we got to.
We got a little bit of time to.
We can hang out a little bit.
But that is great. Those are the attention to detail that makes him a great storyteller. That it's everything that's in between the lines.
Because like those movies, especially, I still think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood might be one of, if not his best that he's made, because it's like there's really hardly even a plot to it. You're just kind of watching these guys' lives play out. You're just like, who are these people, and what is it that's bringing them into the situation? And you just kind of fall in love with just watching, being like, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I just kind of want to see what these people are up to.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I think that one, Hollywood, is like, in my rankings, like my long-standing since 2019, I guess, when it came out. It was one of the ones I did see in theaters, and like, dude, I saw it like 2 times in theaters. I fucking loved Hollywood.
It's fantastic.
So a lot of people have that, and I wound up not having that opinion. Like, I'm not a fan.
You would not rank it S tier for Tarantino.
I would definitely rank it, as far as Tarantino, I would rank it as his worst movie. Just
really? So
yes.
you take it exact opposite down to the bottom.
So I went with a friend of mine, and
I feel like we need to do an episode where we just talk about Tarantino,
like, and 2 hours of being
official rankings of it.
We just have to list. So all right, we're starting with Reservoir Dogs. Take a shot.
We did it with Star Wars.
Oh yeah, we did do it with Star Wars.
We did it with Star Wars.
So we should do it. We should do that with Tarantino soon.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
We'll do an episode of the commentary.
Yeah.
But like, I went to the theater with a dude that I knew, and basically, I kind of was like falling asleep. It was so boring. And then when the movie was finally over, I was just like, what the fuck was this? It was just like an entire exposition of why somebody would be owning a flamethrower. So at the end of the movie, when the Manson family gets the wrong house, essentially, there's a reason why this dude has a flamethrower.
I will say, when I first started watching it, there was a moment about like 15 minutes in, and say, oh, this is kind of like almost a step away from his other stuff. But I kind of just like volunteered myself into being like, okay, let's just sit back and just ride this out.
Yeah.
And there was just something about, because it's something he knows so intimately. If pretty much anybody else made that movie about a guy, like an actor and a stunt double, it would have been the most like, what the fuck even is this? But
Right.
it's like just a slice of Hollywood at a certain time that is long gone away at this point, and you're just watching the lives of these people that you've only really kind of imagined for the most part to be like, man, what was it like right there? And something that really kind of rung true for me too is that my dad lived in Southern California right around that time. Like, he got there maybe 2 years after the Manson murders, and when we stepped out, the first thing he said is like, man, it looked just fucking like that when I lived there. So I don't know how they pulled that off, but it's almost like I time traveled back to when I was living in Southern California at that time, for the hippies walking around, all that kind of shit. It was like so weird to him that he just hit the nail on the head that hard. And in reality, it's like you're watching the story of this guy who's more than washed up at this point. You're watching him just try from every point not to just completely fall apart.
Sure.
And you know there's this evil of the Manson family in the background. You know it's coming. you know, that shit's always kind of lurking around, and it always strikes at the weirdest moment. But for the most part, these people are just kind of living out their lives, trying to keep their shit together, and then suddenly a bunch of crazy hippies show up at your door wanting to cut your head off.
Right, dude.
Well, what I like
Fucking
about
ambush you.
the Tarantino stuff that he does kind of put this kind of what if, like the Inglourious Bastards, where he did this what if situation, you know, like what if we were able to kill Hitler this, you know, one particular night, you know, at a movie theater of all places, you know, and so it's just one of those things, like those kind of things are cool, and I really kind of looked at it as that, you know, especially with the Bruce Lee moment, it kind of reminded me of the whole Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris thing back in the day and stuff, so a lot of it, you know, I can kind of see where it was coming from, but it was so unlike a Tarantino movie to the point where and then I wound up rewatching it. You know, I found it in the fucking $5 bin at fucking Walmart, and wound up you know, rewatching it, and I still had the same feeling, like nothing changed from seeing it in the theater and then seeing it on disc. And with Tarantino, he doesn't do commentaries or anything, so you know, there's not really a lot of information
He
out
does
there.
do like extended cuts though.
Sometimes.
Well, with Once Upon a
Sometimes.
Time, I read the book that he wrote about
he
it.
also did the book. That's
Yeah,
true.
I read
for
that
one.
too, and it's like just an extended version of like the whole story. It's like the movie's just him hitting the highlights, because he started that out just being like, I just want to write a novel, and he got halfway through it, be like, this could be a movie.
Now, the Hateful Eight, man, the Hateful Eight
I
is
think
one of my
that's my
all-time favorite. Not just favorite Tarantino movie, but one of my all-time favorites. Like,
It's
there's
so
something
fucking good.
It is so fucking good. Even when you get to the long moments of dialogue, when it's just character exposition just all the way through, and it's just, even though it's so long-winded, you're still interested. And even though that you may know it by heart, you may know the dialogue word for word, I'm still in it. It's just, dude, there's nothing like just being at home and it's like shitty outside, or maybe even like, you know,
And watch
snowing
the
outside,
extended version
and
of
watch the
Hateful
4-hour version of it, you know.
Watch that.
It's so good.
But I also figured out.
It took a while for me to love Hateful Eight. I'll say that.
Okay, so I can see that, because I see a bit, but I think one of the reasons why I do love it, and I think it just reminds you of a different movie subconsciously, and you don't even realize it. The Thing, which is also one of my favorite movies, but
Maybe the greatest horror movie ever
exactly, loosely, Tarantino made almost like a Western version of The Thing. So you're not in Antarctica, but you know, you're also in the Midwest during a blizzard, and then
Which
like,
is a wasteland still.
nobody knows who's the bad guy because everybody is pretending to be somebody else and everything.
They're stuck in a snowstorm.
Exactly, and not only that, but if you go back, it's unused music from The Thing that he used in there. So when you're hearing the music where it's kind of pulses and bump bump, that kind of thing, that's unused music from John Carpenter's The Thing. So essentially, it is a Western version remake of The Thing.
Great.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's immaculate.
Quite good.
It's honestly like, especially that scene where Sam Jackson he's the Union general. He's talking to Bruce Dern as the Confederate general, and you can tell he has that whole speech talking about taking his son to just walk through the fucking snowstorm naked.
The provocation.
And he's just getting off and just leading him along, just telling
Knowing
that he
what's
made
gonna happen.
his racist Confederate son blow him, and he still shot him in the head. It's like, I can just imagine like writing something out like that, just being like, I don't care if the rest of this is shit. I know this part's gonna rip. This is gonna be great.
The funniest part of that part.
It's so. Well, everything about that is good, because like there's so many times like an attempt at something that's basically dialogue driven that just falls flat, where it's like, God, what are these people even talking about?
Because it winds up, it gets so boring that you don't care. And then with, like, particularly with the Hateful Eight, because it is so dialogue driven, he's telling the story. It's not just like two people meandering. I mean, you're getting more into the movie and more into the characters, and so you're wanting to know more. You're wanting to know, you know, what may be coming next.
And each character is like distinct enough and has their own kind of motivation that it's not like, oh, here's a bunch of people who kind of blend together, and here's all just the same shit that's going on. It's like each person kind of has their own motivation, and you figure out who they are as the story progresses to a point where it's like, I'm not even sure really who to vote for, but I'm just interested to see what happens here. And the idea at the end where Sam Jackson and Walton Goggins, the two that clearly hated each other on site from the very beginning, those were the only two. It's like, fuck, this is the only guy I can trust here?
Yeah.
This is my buddy. Well, let's do it.
They're also showing that they are honorable despite of everything.
Yeah, he does it.
That's exactly how Tarantino writes.
But even the character development of, like, you know, you see Domergue, but you realize that her name isn't Domergue at all. It's Demingray or something like that. Yeah. So it's just the character development just through the whole thing.
Yes. Dude, it was very hard for me to identify, much like watching Knives Out for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Or even the second one to that, Glass Onion. Like, all those, upon first viewing, it took me until about the very end to figure out who. Tarantino, whoever the fuck is doing Knives Out, that shit's great. Daniel Craig.
Ryan Johnson directed and wrote it.
Ryan Johnson,
thank
you.
The one with
Spider-Man. Didn't he make Spider-Man too? Did he make a Spider-Man?
No. Ryan Johnson?
Yeah.
He made a Star Wars. He made Episode 8.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. Okay.
Are you let down?
Yes, I'm very let down. He made Episode 8. Fucking garbage. God.
The thing is with, like, I guess we're getting into it now, but with the sequels, it's like everyone always talks shit about the prequels when they can. Yeah, it's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. But, like, with the prequels, everyone always talks shit, and, like, there's a lot of things wrong with the prequels.
So many things wrong.
But now with the sequels going on, you can go back to the prequels and be like, well, this still feels like a Star Wars movie. Even if it's, like, Phantom Menace is about, like, trade blockades. It's like, I didn't know it was a fucking episode of C-SPAN for half of this Star Wars movie. I want to see some space wizards. What the fuck? Did you save that for the end? What the hell, man? But, like, still in, like, the sequels, even when they, like, pepper all this quote-unquote cool action throughout it, it's like, oh, fuck, you're just, like, so disjointed from it. Although I will say, for Episode 7, everyone, their complaint for the prequels was like, this wasn't like the original trilogy. And then they made Episode 7 that was clearly just being like, let's go back to the roots, let's go back to the original trilogy, and everyone's like, it's too much like the fucking original. So it's like, Star Wars fans are some of the worst people to try to fucking appease on the planet.
Yes, they're terrible people, and when you say that,
they're terrible. Well, they're terrible. When it comes to the movies,
they're terrible to argue with.
And they should be locked up.
And they should be thrown away. And now, dude,
this is a hot take.
And
Star Wars fans are terrible people. I hate them to their core.
Well, I say that they didn't have to kill Luke Skywalker in Episode 8, dude. Come on.
So I liked the sequels. I did. I liked the sequels way. I didn't like the prequels. I didn't like anything about the prequels.
I mean, as far as the
prequels
sequels go,
were made for John and I's age.
We were kids
when
that shit came out.
It was garbage, but we loved it.
We're just like, it's Star Wars. It's fuck.
Like, I didn't care what they would do as far as 7, 8, and 9, because I was more or less thought they were going to do Shadows of the Empire. And if anybody knew anything about Shadows of the Empire, that's kind of what I thought was coming, was where Luke and Leia were going to be Jedis and then everything else, right? Yeah. So I kind of knew what was going to, or thought I knew, obviously didn't, but thought I knew what was going to come on after that with Shadows. So to me, growing up, especially, you know, being a kid who grew up in the 70s, who, you know, grew up with the original trilogy, 1, 2, and 3 is really where I was really wanting to be with. And I can really excuse 1 because we're meeting, you know, like young Vader, and then I can even excuse 2 because that's supposed to be the big old Clone War, which I gave no fucks about.
Right.
Yeah. But 3 is really where, like, for me being as a kid and being a Vader fan, like, this was going to be the one that was going to mean everything, like part 3. And we got such a weak, like, the transition of how he became Vader was so weak.
Yeah,
it was like he got his legs chopped off and then he slides into a magma flow and I hate you. I hate that so bad. Like, I literally want to kick somebody in the balls. Yeah, exactly.
That was fair.
It was such a disappointment, you know.
Here's what I'll say. There's things from episode 7 and 8 that I will defend. There's stuff from that I liked, and there's plenty of stuff that was terrible. Episode 9 was just a complete, what the fuck was that? Oh, you fucking gave up and you had no plan to fucking begin with. And like episode 8, it's like, I understand a lot of the arguments that people have, but there's also moments in it too where it's like, shit, that was, at least just even from like shooting something, like the way that they shot a perspective where, you know, near the end when, oh god, I can't even remember, Kylo Ren and Rey are fighting off all those
the Imperial
Guard. And it's almost kind of like a mislead where it's like, oh shit, you know, maybe are they teaming up now? And he wants her to go towards the dark side and she doesn't want to do it. And it's this, I thought that was actually pretty well established, the two of those going back and forth. Like everything about that, where it's like he's trying to pull her in and she's fighting it off, but there's all this other stuff that she's dealing with. I mean, just even the way that they opened season 8, those first, not season 8, episode 8, those first 10 seconds where it starts in space and it just shoots through right into the battle. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool. It's almost like a nod to episode 3.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, you just go right the fuck into it. Although the entire middle of episode 8, when they're at like basically like space Vegas, it's like that could all have gone away. Who gave a shit about any of that?
That's true. So serendipity or something? Is that it? Something like that.
Serendipity.
The name of like
Space
Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm trying to remember. That portion was very reminiscent to something in Final Fantasy 13, where like they had a world like that you traveled to.
Oh.
It was like a bunch of mini games and stuff like that too. You know, you get garbage, extra weapons.
And that was well after most of the fan base gave up on Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
like,
it was, and I was still there trying to tough it out because I was like, man, this is the new generation of it.
It's like, come on, man.
I don't have Final Fantasy 13 tattoos. I have tattoos of other games that are not that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend getting a Final Fantasy tattoo. I never played any of those games.
I don't dig role-playing games.
Yeah, multiple Final Fantasy tattoos.
Resident Evil now.
I still wouldn't recommend it.
I have a Bulbasaur tattooed on my arm.
That's Pokemon.
Yeah, dog.
That's not Final Fantasy.
Look at him. But then I have that's a Buster sword. That's Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, okay.
The Brotherhood sword. That's Final Fantasy 10. Then I have some Kingdom Hearts stuff. Right there. A Pokeball. There you go. John's like, I fucking hate you.
You know what, Nick? You really wear who you are on your sleeve.
I do.
Almost literally, actually.
I do.
That's something I appreciate about you, buddy.
And on my chest.
Yeah.
And my pants.
You know what? That's still preferable to getting, like, you know, a forest on your forearm.
Yeah, dude.
That or, like, you know, what a weird, you're a white guy with a tribal tattoo or something. It's like, what are you doing?
Right. Like a Samoan.
Yeah. It's like, what is this, Far Cry 3? Get a fucking grip, dude.
No, dude, this is like GTA 4 character customization.
So what are you doing, man? Oh, God. I don't know. There's that. I mean, there's a lot of movies that I could go on about forever. The Thing is obviously fucking fantastic.
Still is.
Especially at the time. Because the way that they utilized practical effects and what they had, it made it seem that much more like just all jittery and real.
Well, you never really saw anything
creepy.
like that. Like when you saw the head separate from the body and from when Norris
legs.
Well, I mean, but you saw all like the bubbles and everything like burst out and explode. You're like, how the fuck did they do that? Like, I was into special effects when I was a kid, so like seeing that was just seeing. Like, you know, some of the masters' work. I mean, you had Rob Bottin, and you also had Stan Winston. Stan Winston did the dog in the kennel, and Rob Bottin did everything else. So you're watching the masters do it, and you're sitting there wondering, how the fuck did they do it? But then when you hear how they did it, how they almost killed everybody because of all the noxious shit they were using. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, also one of the best of all time, both conceptually, visually, creating stuff like that, especially at that time period, was H.R. Geiger, who made shit for like Alien and everything like that.
Alien, really. I mean, they took it like a sci-fi movie and turned it into a horror movie. I mean, just the feel of the entire movie.
And like,
yeah, Alien was sick.
Yeah.
I loved the story of him. It was like, you know, the egg sacs where the was it the face huggers jump out of. When he originally conceived it, like put it together, it was just one slit at the top, and he previewed it to like the crew and everyone being like, all right, here's what I got, and he opened up and everyone's like, it looks like a pussy. So he just built a giant pussy. He's like,
dude.
it's like, oh shit, well I put all this work into it. So he, after like pouring over a bunch of things, he's just like, what if I just put another one
There you go.
across? And then it just opens up and everyone's like, yeah, that works. Like,
That's vaginal.
Yeah.
Now it's scary.
Now it's spooky. Everyone else be like, damn. Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Get that face hugger out of there. I'm going to get my dick out.
Oh, God.
Woo.
You know, the inside of those, the eggs, before it lurched out as a face hugger, was a cow stomach. So you see all the veins and all the lining and everything of the cow stomach inside before the hand puppet pops out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it just reminded me. It was when the movie Prometheus was coming out. I was back home, and I was going with my family, and there was a guy who was sitting out there who was clearly an Alien super fan. So he had like his own like pretend egg sac and a face hugger, and he was like just kind of like fucking around with the crowd, just like jumping up, just getting everyone riled up for the new Alien movie. So at the time, I was like, I didn't really care. I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of funny, you know. This guy's he's excited, he's fucking around. And at the time, I was working at a fried chicken joint, so I came and told my buddy about that the next day. I was like, yeah, there's a guy with a little face hugger that he was throwing around. And my buddy just goes, get a fucking job.
Wasn't
So I didn't know that was gonna set you off, but
Yeah, right.
but it's fine. I can't judge him because I have the same kind of moments where I'll just sit there and be like, get a fucking grip, bud.
Where you just sigh and you're like, just a pure disgust.
You see me do that in the car. It's like driving back. Somebody will like kind of barely swerve into the lane and be like, you fucking rat bastard.
Bastard.
You piece of
Like,
shit.
if I had a fucking gun, I swear to God, that rage just comes out of nowhere.
Although it's we have fun in the car though. Like, you're a safe driver. I trust you with
Yeah,
my
there's some
life.
guys we know that are a little wild.
We do know
I
some
don't know if I
wild
want
boys,
to
dude.
name them, but
Nick, are you a little wild?
I am a little wild, but not that wild.
I will say, after riding with you, I never had a moment where it's like, this is it. We're cooked.
Rev, you've ridden with me once.
Yeah. I
you
never
feel
had a
safe?
problem. Yeah, but I was also high as hell too. So
That's how I get you.
It's like, we might be in danger, but I don't know.
You have no idea if you're in danger because you're too high to even know. You know?
yeah, I think any night.
What's the
that I'm-
difference between 40 and 80 miles an hour? I don't know.
Right.
40 miles per hour? That's the exact difference between 40 and 80 miles per hour.
That's right.
I mean, you asked.
To math.
To math, fellas.
Mathematician John Dollar. I have another topic I would like to bring up. Is our recent travels. Give some love to Nate and the Good Vibes Festival. and
Oh,
all
yeah,
that.
Nate Jackson and Good Vibes. So that was fucking awesome. They're already planning the second one.
Right. He told me that. He was here on Friday.
Yeah.
He came and did like an impromptu episode, and it was fun. Good shit.
Yeah, the guy, that guy fucking rips. What he's doing out there is awesome, especially for Memphis. It's a smaller scene than what Nashville has, and the fact
Well,
that
I
they
think
were.
he's really adding to that.
He's really
He's
helped
really
build
trying
that
to put
up.
it on the map.
Yeah.
He is, and like the fact that like a lot of the shows were theme shows, and we got to do some different things. Like you did like this competition show that like who else was on it? CJ, Will Abels.
Some other guys. Joe Means, shout out to him. He's a Memphis comic. He's very funny.
You guys had the
We had to
Special
do-
Olympics moment, right?
Yeah, because like we got to the second round. What was funny about that? I went first, and at the time there was
Wait a minute. You guys did the Special Olympics?
Yeah, we
That
were just
topic
in
they
the
had.
Special Olympics. We're like, we'll be back for the festival for a bit. We got to go do the 3-legged race.
They were actually there to cheer me on.
Yeah, they're like, go Nick!
Dude,
Don't give him the javelin. But so when I went up first, there was like 5 people in the crowd, and by the end of it, by the last comic that went up, we had a full crowd. So it's like whoever went on to the next round was chosen by audience clapping, which I would like to formally suggest everyone to please never put me in that position ever again. To ever have to just stand up there and be like, all right, who did you like more? It's like, it puts all of us in a horrible position that no one wants to be. Like, that's like the beauty of comedy, is that you can just sit there in the dark, and if you like someone, you can laugh, and if you don't, you're like, I'm in the dark. I'll just wait for the next guy to come up. But I barely skated by into the second round. In the second round, you have to do, it's like, okay, we're going to give you just a couple minutes and a topic chosen by the audience. And you have to come up with like a 1-minute bit about that. And so we got Special Olympics. So it's like these people are trying to get us both just burnt to the ground. They want to see us suffer.
Right.
So I was hanging out with Joe Means. And he's just telling me, it's like, we're both looking at each other just laughing at the situation we're in, just being like, what the fuck? What could we say off the cuff about this? And Joe was like, he jokingly said, so he was looking at the picture, he's like, I don't want to sound mean, but it does seem like they're being electrocuted in each of these pictures, the way that they're smiling like that. And I was like, if you fucking open with that, you are the man, dude. And he's like, all right. Like, I loved just being like, you know what, we're in this shit, I'll do it. He goes out there, he says that, he opens with that bit, and it's quiet for a second. I'm still on stage watching him after my horrible 1 minute, and I just start fucking laughing so hard that he's like, looks like they're being electrocuted, and everyone's just staring at him. And I started laughing so hard that the rest of the crowd starts laughing. I just loved him just firing that off and then just standing there being like, oh shit. Shout out to Joe Means. The guy's very funny. Follow him on Instagram.
That was a good book, dude. There's so many fun moments to that festival.
It was a great weekend.
Hanging out on the back patio on the second floor. It would be packed as hell, and people were just handing me things, dude. I was getting gummies. It was great.
Oh, so you're just receiving random drugs?
I was getting drugs.
It's Memphis, man.
Dude.
Yeah, right on.
A guy
Good
showed me his
drugs.
gun that he brought.
Well, that's Memphis.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect. Like handing out like random shit, like probably not much, but like here, look at my Glock. Like I can see that.
It was just weed edibles. That's it. It was just gummies.
Like, I was talking to this dude about how much we loved fishing. He's like, I love fishing, I also love shooting. Check this out. And just from his pocket, he just has a gun. I was like, that's cool.
Was I
go do
wasn't
something
standing
with it.
there when that happened.
No, that was at a different point.
Oh my God, dude.
It was like a tiny little 22, just like a night.
Oh,
It's
like a
almost like a
Dillinger?
22, like 6-shooter kind of thing. And he's just like, here, check that out. I appreciated that he just held in his palm, not like.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's a stick up.
He knew how to handle it.
It's I know how to bad set, but Jesus Christ, it wasn't that bad.
Dude, no one was trying to shoot us after our set.
Oh.
None of our sets were that bad to where someone would want to shoot us, I would say. I think everyone that came from Nashville represented Nashville well.
What was also funny was that, like, you know, Hannah Belmont, who's like a very young up-and-comer. She's fucking crushing out there. She's very funny.
is.
She's like this young female comic, and immediately became like the little sister to all of us.
Right.
Because like we were just
All
hanging out at the
gang.
diner and then going to like, and she was just like one of the boys, just like chilling. And we were all having a good time. It was like it was weird. There was just like all these dudes. Of all the people that we could have been hanging out with, it's like, hey, this girl in her early 20s.
Right, wanted to hang out
Let's go
with
rip
all
some
of
brews,
us.
and it's like it wasn't even a thing. It was, like, yeah, but
She's cool.
The age gap between it, it's like I would never be. Oh, it's like immediately it's like, well, I've never had a younger sister, but this is close enough. It's like, it works for me.
Dude, she was funny. She was funny
It's great.
too.
Hope to see you around soon.
I hope so, man.
There's a lot of funny people on that fucking festival.
There was that one. What was that guy? Vaughn from LA. He was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Shout out to Mike Pablo.
Well, we had
Pablo.
Jackson out here, like when we were having like Friday, Thursday, something like that.
Something like that.
But anyway, he was talking about expanding the festival to, did he say 3 days or something like that?
He thought about doing it in a. I think he thought about doing it like a Saturday, Sunday instead, or maybe he was gonna.
I would keep it to Friday and Saturday, so you can still have the Sunday.
Sunday or something.
Yeah, because I think at 420 is going to be on a Sunday or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Some bullshit like that.
Some bullshit like that.
I don't know. I'm always like such a homebody. I'd prefer if the Sunday was just off.
Yeah, no.
Like, just let me drive home so I can fucking stretch out before I start the work
Dude,
week.
I remember when Sundays nothing was open, nothing. Sundays were for you to be with your family or whoever, and not jack shit was open. Not a.
It's the Lord's Day, goddammit.
Well, it was part of the blue laws, so like it was based on that. Yeah, but I mean, it was really weird. Like as a kid, you could wander out on a Sunday anywhere through Nashville, and it was a ghost town. Nothing was
Not
open.
like that now. Not the case.
No, I remember when it really kind of started. They started allowing like convenience stores to be open on Sundays and gas stations, and then it just kind of like, well, from there, then they're going to let food like grocery stores, and then it just because everybody was open, you know.
So you had to buy 2 packs of cigarettes on Saturday. So it's going to be closed tomorrow. I'm going to be jonesing if I don't get another one.
Those times I remember my stepfather or my mother handing me a note. Like I would be 10, 11 years old, and my mom or stepfather hand me a note like, please allow Rev to buy Kent Golden Light 100s, you know. And so I'd go to like the quick sack and hand the little note, and they'd read it, and then they'd give me the note back, and then sell me cigarettes like 10 years old.
You know, it was a more trusting time.
It was a different time.
In certain areas, it was a more trusting time. In others, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
But I also love how nobody recognized that I unintentionally said it was the Lord's Day. God damn it!
I also caught that.
Right after I said, I was like, "What's wrong with me?"
Are you a religious guy?
I grew up Irish Catholic. I still have a lot of the.
I grew up Roman Catholic.
Yeah, I so we're pretty much like in the similar fucking
Catholicism
ballpark
is a motherfucker.
a huge one.
Sure.
And we can talk shit about the Christians all day. What a
Hell
bunch
yeah.
of fucking goobers they are.
Goobers.
We go hard in the paint, but at Catholic.
But do you retain your Catholicism?
I do, like, to an extent where it's like, I don't really, like, the organized religion, to me, it's always like, it's still at the end of the day, it's a bunch of people saying what they think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I still think, like, religion, spirituality, all that is, I fully am into it. All these different I think all these different faiths and everything still come from the same kind of understanding where it's like, we're not alone in the universe, there's something else out there, there's something to attain, and like, obviously everybody always has the hack jokes about being like, oh, the Catholic, you know, the pedophile. It's like, yeah, how fucking many nanoseconds did it take you to write that fucking joke? But at the same time, there's still a lot of good that comes from any faith. Like, the fucking YMCA does shit for, like, the Special Olympics. There's all these, like, youth-based stuff. It still provides a lot to the community. You have to say something for that. Mm-hmm. And I still believe, or it's like, a lot of people try to say, I might be a little too buzzed to really fully articulate this.
That's the point of the show.
Yeah, that's the whole point. But there's still a lot of people out there that'll be like, well, if you look at like outer space and all the science that we have, how could you still believe in that? It's like, if we understand all this stuff is possible, that like a fucking black hole could potentially spaghettify you and make you time travel and bend the fabric of time and space and physics itself, how is it that much more far-fetched to be like, okay, maybe there's something else out there besides just us. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's something more to this, maybe something less. I don't know. I like to keep my mind open because anybody that tries to be so absolutist about anything where they're just like, no, there's no God, when you die, that's it. It's like, well, you're an unimaginative, boring fucking prick.
Well, also, if being an absolutist, because you don't know, like, no one knows 100%.
Yeah.
Like, when I was a kid, you know, and 15 years old, like, oh, there's no God, there's no...
But yeah, that's the whole point of being 15.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But after a while, like, once you really kind of, like, experience life a little bit, you know, you always kind of wonder, and like I always think, like, I hear too now that I don't know, and no one has been able to tell me enough to convince me one way or another about anything. But I also am open to the possibility of things, because just as far as man, anything that man could put his mind to eventually happens. I mean, we've split the fucking atom, for fuck's sake. So, I mean, there's things that, that we can... I would never warn out that the fact that, do I believe in the possibility of aliens? Of course there's a possibility of aliens, of course, right? Mm-hmm. Have I ever seen an alien? No. Do I believe in the possibility of a god or some spiritual being? I believe in the possibility of it.
Right.
Have I met God or Jesus or an archangel or any shit? No. And I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know why, I've never met Buddha or any of that shit. And as all the different religions, well, how would I know if one religion is supposed to be the true one upon anything else? So I don't know. And I try to keep everything open. But in my lifetime, I've never met an alien. I've never met a ghost. I've never met an angel. I've never met anything that would sway me to a religion or a philosophy or anything.
Because faith is like an important part. Faith is what got me to move 2,000 miles away to keep pursuing comedy, because I had faith to be like, well, you know what, I'm gonna do it or I'm not.
Faith in comedy or faith in the Lord?
Faith in comedy.
Okay.
But faith as a general understanding in itself, because that as a concept is at the time before I moved out here, it's I haven't seen enough to make me think that I can make it, but I have had enough good sets, and this is something I want to do. I'm gonna have faith in the fact that if I move out here and keep fucking pursuing what it is I want to do, and keep working towards that, then then I might have a chance. And now here I am 2 years later, having a pretty fucking good time.
Yeah,
if I could be honest, we're having a good time,
dude.
But that, and also just faith in the fact being listen, there's a lot of people who are religious that'll get a fucking hard time because some dickhead on Reddit wants to be right about everything, being like, "Oh, you actually, there's actually proof there's no God." There's all that kind of shit where it's somebody's like, "Listen, I have faith that there's something after this or something above this, anything like that, and that allows me to be a better person to the people around me." And just even if that's a motivator to be a good person instead of just being a good person, it's still fucking something. So just let them have it.
Sure.
If they're not, shooting rockets and blowing everything. It's people always say it's a religion's fault. When anything the Crusades, everything in the Middle East, all that kind of shit that takes place, it's the fault of religions. No, it's the fault of these powerful maniacs that misinterpret something that should honestly be pretty simple.
Use it for their own device,
and then just be well, I have the ability to kill everyone around me. Let's do that. I'm sick of arguing with them. That's Charlemagne. I'm sick of arguing. Cut their fucking heads off.
That's him on every interview, dude. He's ready.
No, not Charlemagne the God.
I was thinking of him, dude.
I'm talking about King Charlemagne.
Charlemagne the God.
You're thinking of Charlemagne the God, the beheader. It might not even been Charlemagne in the Crusades, but it was around that time, I think. But you're honestly a guy who is alive today, leading the Crusades. It's 1,000 years ago. What are you talking about?
He would be dude. He would.
You checked out for 2 minutes, but yeah, dude, the Breakfast Club. It's that's not at all what we're talking about. Yeah, that just reminded me of Sway's Universe. It's that's a great show, but that's not even slightly relevant to what we're discussing.
I'm glad I could provide.
Thanks, bud.
Do this table.
Oh my God.
I need a Coke, dude.
I'll go get some. I gotta get some too. Do you need a Coke?
All right.
Oh no, I'm still working on this one.
Well, I'll bring a couple. I shall return.
All right, Rev's coming back with drinks.
The conversation.
We'll keep the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why my head went to Breakfast Club, but that's where we went.
You just heard Charlemagne, and you're just fuck it.
I was like, yeah, dude, that guy argues all the time. Actually, I get so annoyed when I watch him argue. Really,
he is pretty combative. I do. That's part of the draw of that show is the fact that he's very combative like that.
Right.
It's just all right, what kind of crazy shit's this dude gonna say? But it does get annoying after a certain point.
After a point, it's oh man, especially if it's a person I'm actually interested in like watching, you know, like a certain artist maybe, and he just like grills them so long, or like doesn't care, not really interested, like.
Well, that show, yeah, because like you're very much right about that, and that show is also proof of who can fucking hold their own. Like they just recently had Bill Burr on the show, and Charlemagne, even when he tried to get a dig at Bill just fucking gave it right back to him. Like, cause he's a professional in that kind of area. So that show is very emblematic of the fact it's like, oh, somebody can just like, they can take something and be like, it's almost like a boomerang. They'll bring it and just fucking throw it right back. Somebody, it's like, oh yeah, okay. Is that what we're doing?
Oh, that's
Here's
what you
one for you, bud.
say, dude. Well, let's talk about that car note. I don't know, dude.
What about you sniffing J-Lo's chair? How about that, bud? What's going on there? That fucking guy.
That guy. Charlemagne the God. Great interviewer. Way better than I am, that's for sure.
I mean, that moment right there where we were talking about King Charlemagne, you're like, yeah, dude, the Breakfast Club. It's like, that's every road trip we've been on. Where I've said something, and you've been like either like looking at your phone or been like smoking weed, and we're on the way back, and I'll say something and be like, dude. Like, whenever I hear dude, it's like, he didn't hear what I said.
So Sunday we were at the park, and most Sundays Nick and I will go out there and we'll walk a few miles and we'll smoke a joint in between each mile. And yeah,
this is a 9-mile hike. We're gonna get fucked.
Yeah. There's 8 joints. We're gonna do 8 miles. Yeah. So the dog's starting to get hot, so we were gonna decide to call it in. So we smoked a joint, but then got underneath another like shade tree where there was a bench, and then we smoked a final joint. And as we're getting ready to kind of smoke this joint and go home and everything, he's dipped out on his phone. So while I was in the middle of talking to him, and then like. It's funny, it's like when you'll talk to him, and then he just kind of he's looking at you and then just goes directly to his phone. and I'm looking at him like I was smoking a joint. So then I'm talking like the most insane, off-the-wall shit.
You could say whatever you want.
And he's somewhat like responding. He's like, yeah, man, like, you know, I like lederhosen. And like, you know, and I'm still doing I'm saying like just the most off the wall. And he gets off the phone, and then I'm just kind of looking at him, you know, and I'm nodding my head, and he's like, trying to keep up whatever conversation was there, and I'm just like, yeah, man. And then like we're talking again, and then he'll go back to doing this, and then like I'm like, and then like the Nazis won the war, and
exactly. Yeah. It's like immediately when he's baked and looks at his phone, he vanishes.
Yeah, he's gone.
But he disappears.
Gone. Yeah.
But it's like you could say anything. You could be walking right next to him and just be like. It's like, damn, Nick, I'm pretty sure Gorbachev is still alive, and they should have kept the Berlin Wall up. And then, I swear to God, 15 seconds of silence go by, and he starts nodding. Dude. Yeah. You know what I was thinking? And immediately, it's like, he didn't fucking hear a single word of that. That was just waves on the beach. Ocean waves just washing up through his brain. And then something else... Maybe a dog came into his mind. He's like, he'll be sober, and you'll be walking by, and he'll be mid-sentence, and if somebody with a dog walks by, I'd be like, so that's the thing about, a doggy. It just disappears. There it goes.
My neighbor is a dog sitter, and she, they brought a... They were watching a corgi today, and I got to watch it.
I just see the joy in your eyes talking about this stuff.
I was sitting on my other neighbor's front porch, and I pointed out, I was like, Xavier, dude, look, they got a fucking corgi today. And I yelled it, and then my other neighbor, the dog watcher, Caprice,
ran away.
Was like, hey, what's up, dude? And I was like, a corgi!
It's a dog! Don't you see the dog? And they're like, they're everywhere. Why are you yelling at me?
It's just fun watching corgis move. They got cute little butts.
Yeah.
You can't say no to a cute little corgi butt.
Well, maybe you can in certain contexts, but... My God.
Context.
But I'll just... Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, context.
right.
You know, actually, I have a note on my phone called Nick Weirisms.
No.
Couple things.
Let us hear some of these
said-
weirisms.
Over the fucking years.
So hey, we're taking a new poll. We're thinking that Nick should change his name to Weird Nick. How do you feel about Weird Nick?
It might be a little too on the nose.
Okay.
It's
I'm
like
not
that
doing
kind of,
that.
it's almost like a stage name.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
Sure.
But I'm not about it. I'll be honest, I'm not about it.
I will never go by his stage.
Weird Nick. No.
No, not like that.
It was okay.
Although I do love Uncool Randy. Like that's a stage name that I love.
That's kind of a fun one.
Cat.
He's a good dude, yeah.
So here's one
He is a
where
good
Nick is when we were in Asheville with Brandon Gerald for the Asheville Comedy Festival. Nick had bought some trinkets for a lady he was going to go meet up with that same weekend when we got back home. And so, yeah, you remember now.
I know exactly where this is going.
So we were sitting in the bar. They had this fucking awesome bar you could go to afterwards, where it's like this big outdoor area. There was like little fire
like a
pits,
clubhouse
and shit. Yeah,
behind
it was
a
sick.
barbecue restaurant.
And one of my favorite things about it was
Fire
that they were showing,
pits.
and they were showing like NFL preseason games, so I could just sit there, get rip shit, and like the first night the Seahawks preseason was going. That's my fucking team.
Those his boys, dude.
So that's when I pulled a Nick Weir. I disappeared from everyone else. It's like, fuck them. For the next 2 hours, I'm sitting here and I'm watching this. This is my team. It's something my dad and I would always sit down for years and watch them play. But so Nick had bought all this stuff for this lady he was going to meet up with at the time. This is a while ago.
This was a while ago.
So I was like, oh yeah, you got some fun stuff for us. She's probably gonna like it. She's like, yeah, dude, it's gonna be great when we get back. We're going on a date the same night we get home. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, man, she's really gonna like that. And then Nick, 3 seconds go by, just enough to take a sip of my drink, and I just hear from my left ear, dude, I'm gonna come in that woman. It's like, what? What? There's no subtlety, no nuance. Just, dude, I'm gonna come in that woman. And then 2 days after we got home, I was like, did you come in that woman? Hell yeah.
Yep, dude, I did. I was right.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hey, I bought those gifts. It was a good thing I did.
Yeah, clearly paying off. But I remember just like, you just said it, and you're just nodding and be like, yeah, now you say something. And I was like, that's the craziest thing anyone's ever fucking. It's like, what kind of possible response could I have to that? Dude, I'm gonna come in that woman.
Yeah, you are.
Jesus. Yeah. Because if I match the same energy, it's like, that's just creepy as fuck. It's like, we're also in public. There's people around us. What are you talking about?
My intention was to be weird and say something.
Well, you fucking hit the nail on the head, bud.
That was 100% my
Damn.
intention.
You fucking pulled it off. There's one more. Let me see, because the other ones I've talked about on previous shows. Yeah. I put Nick in the fucking hot seat. I think it was that same weekend. I was pretty lit one night. Pulled out my phone and started making an Instagram story. I still have the video saved. I ran right up to Nick, put the camera right in his face, and I was like, Nick, what do you think of Israel? This is pre the latest Hamas attack. I was like, Nick, what do you think of Israel? Nick's like halfway through like burning a roach. He just goes, dude, I don't know. It's like, that's actually the perfect response.
Well, the picture you took, you can't even see my eyes.
You're just like closed eyes, like standing up.
Oh man.
Dude, I don't know. Jesus.
What is Israel for 500, Alex? Because I don't know.
There's about to not be in Israel. I think they're like fucked themselves so badly.
Well, it's a weird thing. I think Louis C.K. had a great bit about that, where he's talking about there's always like a struggle in the Middle East Where it's like when your kids start like initially fighting. It's like you come in and be like, oh, "What's going on? Are we having some feelings? What's happening here? What's going on here?" It's like, but after a few years of that, you're just like, "Hey, just shut up!
Right.
You're both wrong.
Right.
Just shut the fuck up! I can't listen to this anymore."
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like that. I won't get into that too much. I just, and this might seem like an easy opinion to take, but I just feel like any place where, you know, innocent people are getting vaporized, it's like, well, that's clearly not the solution to this problem.
Yeah.
You have that fighting there for the last 5,000 years. It's not going to stop now.
And that's another.
It's not gonna
I worry
stop.
about all the history that's
Yeah.
like.
It's
Like,
too
'cause-
entrenched in all that, where it's like it runs so deep
I know.
that it's just, and that's
It runs
another
very
case.
deep and,
Yeah.
but like what I mean about the history, what I worry about with it is like, there's so many things like the Sphinx and the pyramids and things and other.
Oh, are you talking about historical monuments? and shit?
I'm talking more
Just
of
talking
like
about basic history.
the historical stuff, the like artifacts and stuff that are getting destroyed or like could get destroyed in all this. You know what I mean?
The shit that's like been around since like the you know the day of
I
Christ.
care about all the
Well, did you
people,
guys
of course,
see everything that
100%. That's, like,
ISIS
number one.
destroyed?
But, like I also worry about like
ISIS destroyed
Yeah.
so many historical and archaeological.
yeah.
They destroyed
Horrible.
everything, which was really weird. It's like one thing that they wound up destroying. They wound up finding a bunch of other things through that, but they just went around to anything that had anything to do that wasn't for their belief systems. ISIS destroyed everything, and they wiped out so many
Yeah.
different temples
And
and stuff.
that's what any kind of like opposing power based on any kind of like the value of hatred or anything. It's like let's just wipe away anything that
Not even
kind of
hatred though, but a
opposes
belief
the-
system. Like
Yeah,
their
it's
belief
like-
system.
Let's just destroy anything around us. And that's like another case of what I was talking about earlier, where it's like a bunch of people getting together misrepresenting anything. It's like just a basic faith-based kind of thing.
the Crusades and stuff.
Yeah, and all that, where it's like it's
Not the Breakfast Club.
it's like it's man powering man. It's not God powering. Yeah, it's not Charlemagne. I got halfway through like an important point. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that dumb thing you said 20 minutes ago. But it's another thing where it's just like all that kind of stuff. They take something that's above them and they think they can let it fuel them through because they think they're acting on a higher power because of their own crazy misrepresentation of it. That's what gives all these like fucking Bill Maher's
Makes
out
them
there.
think they're noble or something.
Yeah, and it's what makes all these Bill Maher's out there think they're such hot shit because like, I don't buy into any of that. That makes me better. It's like, that makes you a boring, smug dickhead is actually what makes... Fuck you, Bill Maher.
That's right.
I want that on the record. You can blow me. Religulous was made specifically for emo 15-year-olds, and you fucking know it. Just admit it, you dickhead.
That's right.
Oh, well.
It was your favorite movie.
No, but I like the message of what he was saying. It's like what I was saying earlier. Like the message he was saying that he didn't know, and then there's so many people out there that say that they do know.
Yeah.
And that's his thing about that was the fact
It's
that
insane.
all he's saying is that he doesn't know, and he's not trying to advocate one way or the other, and he's talking to people that do advocate one way or the other, and it's just he's just trying to kind of show you where these people are coming from, doing something that keeps people in line for their own culture, really. So, like, I mean, if you think like Sharia law and stuff like that, I mean, these are just people that are just trying to keep other people down,
Yeah.
and it
A lot of
doesn't.
it's built on guilt and shame. And it's all
Religion
these people
doesn't do
taking this-
anything but serve the people who are in power. It
Yeah.
doesn't
A lot-
matter if
that's
it's
a
a
lot of
Catholic
religion
church
is so
or a
based on
dictator. Someone
Exactly.
is going to use religion in order to keep you in line and keep themselves in power. And we do it here in the States too. It's like if you look at the Republicans, they run on Christianity.
The fake kind of Christianity where they're just saying, it's like, oh yeah, well, I believe in God, so I must be the fucking best, when in reality it's like, I believe in God. That's why I make 18-year-olds enlist and go die so I can make oil money.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Well,
that's my own form of abortion, and it's legal.
Our religion here is money.
right.
I mean, that's our economy is the new religion. I mean, that's if you're involved in it and you're making money, and money is power. So if you're one of the powerful, and
Crypto is the new one,
Yeah, kinda.
It's not gonna last. Crypto can't last because of how much money it takes just think of the farms.
Well, the money in it is falling
servers.
constantly.
Well, you can't sustain something that takes money. Just think of how much electricity it takes to run the farms for Bitcoin.
Yeah,
for all the servers.
I look at like the fucking stock market at times.
But it's thank you, sir.
I'll look at the stock market.
It's a temporary thing. Bitcoin, like most things, are a temporary thing. And like if you're able to cash in, like I remember that one Latino artist that wound up, he was going around doing a lot of artwork and everything, and he was just telling people to pay him in Bitcoin. And then eventually, like, you know, his Bitcoin wound up being so much, he wound up having like $80 million and stuff like that. So there's people like they get into things in the very beginning, and they wound up being able to cash out and everything. Like I think even 50 Cent, like, you know, sold his album on Bitcoin, and then it wound up getting big, and he wound up making so much money off that one particular album or something like that. So like there's things like, but those are also pyramid schemes. It's not going to last, and it can't possibly last. You can't possibly put out a currency that takes money to keep it running. I mean, just think of like, and all I'm saying is, as far as Bitcoins, and I always go back to, is the server farms.
It's still based in like the U.S. dollar too. So here's how much it's valued in the U.S. dollar and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's also like that kind of stuff. It only works if you get in on it at the ground level.
Exactly.
Like that and like.
But that's what a pyramid
lithium,
scheme
but
is,
something like
though.
that.
A pyramid scheme is for all the people that get in, because then it takes all those people who get in late, essentially, who are the ones that get fucked.
And you got to find the right moment to cash out.
Right.
That's what made the thing about like the whole GameStop thing actually like pretty great. Because I remember being like so excited when that happened, because as much as that got sensationalized, and there's all this crazy shit about it, it also did a great job of two things. It exposed how bullshit all these people were on Wall Street.
The stock market.
Yeah. We already knew it, but it also really just put it right in your fucking face of how bullshit these people are. And secondly, especially in the time where COVID was like at its height, or maybe blur that. I don't know if YouTube's still as weird about even saying, but when
we're far enough in the show.
Yeah, when the horrible fake disease. No,
when the dark times
was going, it was definitely real. But when it was going around, our reaction to it was bullshit. But
the
like,
newest plague.
When that was going on, it was something that brought a bunch of people who were getting fucked in the ass every day, especially at the height of that disease. It brought them all together to be like, yeah, all these guys are getting rich. Let's fucking take some billions from them. It was just, even with like, there's so many people, like, I hear arguments where people be like, well, yeah, but a lot of people put their money into that and they made a lot, but then they held on and then they lost all of it. It's like, that feels like it's on them.
That's capitalism also.
That's, at the end of the day, that's how the fucking stock market works. That's
exactly
how all
how
these pricks got to the top, is by knowing how to game the fucking system. And because we're all new to it, nobody was telling it. Like anybody that was telling them, like, oh, hang on to it, or oh, sell it, all that stuff. It's like at the end of the day, it's your decision. You'd be like, oh, I'm up 30 grand. I could really use 30 grand. And then someone would be like, well, it could be 100 in 2 days. It's like, yeah, but it's 30 now.
Right this second, right.
A fucking bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Right. Yeah.
I should have listened to myself like years ago. I was up $1,000 in Dogecoin. Then Elon Musk, that fucking piece of shit, hosted SNL. I lost all my goddamn money. It all went down the tubes.
Yeah, he should have sold.
He went up on that show and told the whole country it's a scam. And I was like, fucking shit. It's like, I know it's a scam. I'm trying to make a quick buck. Why would you do this to me?
But that's capitalism also. Oh, we're doing another shot. We're going to slow down, man. We're about to hit this bottle. All right.
Oh, man.
To Elon Musk and the end of the world.
End of the world.
I'll only drink to the end of the world, not Elon. Well, what's funny about this,
Well,
too,
he's going to
is,
trigger it.
Yeah.
He's going to bring it.
He'll be
not helping.
involved, dude.
What's funny about this, too, is like the amount that we've had is that I've had like such a horrific hangover today that now I've just started to get a buzz again. It's like that's how my body works, where it's I have to like drink my way through it. Tomorrow's going to be brutal. It's going to be horrific. But now it's just like, oh, I don't feel like dying right now. This is solid.
Last night I wound up drinking a pretty good amount with fucking Mario. And so like when you guys like texted and were like, hey, we're going to do a show, I was already like, I was in the middle of editing and my body just started to give out. You ever get to that point where like your body is just like shutting down on you and like all you have like 5 minutes to get to the bed before like your body just shuts down. And so I literally just like crashed in the bed, and then all of a sudden my phone's blowing up and it's like, hey guys, we're doing the show tonight. I'm just like, John Dollar. I'm just like, fucking okay, I'm down. You know, but then like I slept. I was just like, I'm not getting up. I took a fucking nap and everything. I was just like getting up, and he's just like, I got car trouble. I was like, fuck, do I need to come get you?
Oh, dude, I was so stressed, dude.
That is what's funny too about like that, because we were supposed to be on a show tonight, and instead we decided to do this because that show got canceled. I'll read the 3 texts that I sent within a 2-minute time span. This is all during a work meeting I had too.
Okay.
Like I got so happy when that show got canceled. I was like, oh sweet Jesus, I could just go home. I'm hungover as hell. I can go home, just stretch out, put on some YouTube, and I'll take a 2-hour nap. I'll play some Assassin's Creed Valhalla and eat some mac and cheese. And then I got a text. Be like, hey, you know, the show's canceled. You want to do the podcast? And initially, the first text I sent was like, no. I'll be honest, I'm so happy he canceled because I'm beyond exhausted, so I think I'm staying in tonight. Definitely down to get on a later one, though. You know, just like the usual Midwestern. It's like, hey, you know, I already feel bad for saying no, even though I just want an evening to myself. But hey, bud, let's figure out another thing so that everybody's happy. And then not even that, literally 2 minutes later, actually, fuck it, I'll do the pod tonight. Ignore that horse shit. Because for those 2 minutes, I was just sitting there in that work meeting just being like, you pussy. You fucking pussy. You said no to something.
You would also, like, earlier, it would be like, hey, let's do something, you, me, and Nick, and Hobbs.
Daniel Hobbs.
Yeah, so that's what I thought we were going to do. And then you were like, no, I'm not doing shit tonight. And then, like, I'm already asleep. I'm like, oh, thank God. You said no.
And I said, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, and then when you came back with, like, yeah, I'm like, I'm still, like, half asleep. And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, oh, man, now I got to get up and get ice and liquor. And
hey, at least you're off this week, man.
Dude, I've had to take the vacation off, and it's been Sunday. But I've been confusing my days. Like, I've been thinking today was Sunday. I was thinking yesterday was Saturday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have no idea where I am on the time continuum.
A week off is huge, though.
And I've been sleeping in. Like, I've been able actually to sleep in.
So nice.
Like, I don't wake up until Boris comes in and puts his fucking cold nose up against my forehead.
He's like, hey, I have to shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm a dog, and I can't open this door. So you're going to have to do something, bud, or else it's going on the floor right here.
Right. No, but it's been great having some time off. Just, I can't tell you.
It's also one of those things, too, where it's like, I spent 2 hours debating, this is part of that Irish Catholic guilt, where it's like, I would rather lose a toe than do that show that we were originally scheduled on tonight. It's like, I'd rather lose a pinky toe than do that because I just want to go straight home. And then it got canceled. It got canceled, and I was just like, "Oh God, you are an awesome God."
There is a God.
When I need you the most, you really fucking deliver, bud. Oh, it's amazing. And then 20 minutes later, you're like, "Let's do a podcast," and I was like,
"No."
As I was saying no to it, I was like, "You pussy, you pussy." It's like, just go hang out with the fellas.
Just go hang out. You can do that.
It's also the thing. It's like the real deterrent. At least for me, I can't really speak for anybody else, but for me, it's like the real deterrent is the idea of the time before and getting there.
Word.
But once you're there, it's like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's do the show. We're already here.
Yeah.
It was like when I did the show last night. It's like, well, this is going to suck, but
I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here and it's free drinks. I'm going to make a goddamn night of it.
Make a night, dude.
It's like, I didn't drive. I walked here.
Right.
Let's get after it, bud. That's why only
That's
now
gotta
it's
be
like,
great
oh,
too to be able to walk to the gig.
Right, dude.
Also, because like walking down Broadway is a goddamn nightmare, but when you walk down Church Street and you get in that certain area, it's only like a couple blocks away from Broadway here in Nashville, but Church Street is very nice. Because well, it depends on which block you're on, because Church Street
It's
can
a
be
lot
nice
better
or
than it was
a
20 years
shithole.
ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get closer downtown, you're like, oh, this is kind of a cute little quaint area. It's nice. little
Artsy
place.
fartsy.
Yeah. And actually, I swear to God, one of the places I love the most here in Tennessee is downtown Murfreesboro.
Really?
Because it reminds me so much of the
little
downtown
square.
of my hometown.
Oh, I
yeah.
hate downtown Murfreesboro.
I fucking love it, but
Wow.
I'll fucking kill you if you talk shit about
Dude,
downtown
it
Murfreesboro.
is a fun little hang, you know?
I like it. It's just quaint. It's quiet. There's
It's
a few
like-
things
it's like
you can do,
downtown
and then you
Bowling
go
Green,
home.
Dude.
Yeah.
You've been downtown Bowling Green, I think.
I mean, we've both been through Bowling Green like a few times.
Yeah, dude. Like it's very similar to that. Like just small town. Like like I did like a weekend of shows in Bowling Green back in I think early or like May 22, I think. And I went and hung out on like the square at night, Friday and Saturday. And it was interesting to see because it had like a full nightlife, you know,
Yeah.
like tons of people out going to the different bars, and there was like a couple of coffee shops open late, a cookie ice cream shop open late at night. Like it was cool.
What's also nice about that is like that's a nightlife that goes to bed. Where everybody talks about like
Yes.
New York is the city that never sleeps. It's like, why would you ever like go to bed?
Like at 11, it is like everything is shut down.
It's
But,
like I'm tired.
up until that point, it is hustle and bustle all around the square.
Oh, yeah.
Though.
Well, what's also great is like when I lived. This actually reminds me of a crazy story. When I lived in downtown Missoula, Montana, when I had my first apartment, if it was like around midnight on a Monday or Tuesday, I could walk through downtown, and I'd be the only person on the street. And I would just, especially like during the winter, the snow would be out, I'd put my earbuds in, I'd be listening to my music, and there was something really therapeutic. Like you're out there, you're seeing all the buildings, but everything's shut down, it's quiet, and you're just kind of in your own element. But I did that one night, and there just so happened to be a lady also walking around. We've all been in the position where it's just you, and there's also a woman walking down the street.
She in front of you?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do I not make it look like I'm following this person? So I'm walking down the main street. She's in the same lane, so I go across the street, and I'm walking down there.
Good call.
And so I'm walking, we're both going down this way, and she keeps going, and she takes a left. She goes down this area. So I'm like, okay, shit, I'll just keep going down the downtown area, the main street. I'll go across the bridge that goes across the Clark Fork River. I'll come back. By the time I come back, now my whole fucking walk is just based off the fact I don't want to look like a stalker, like fucking maniac. Yeah. So I'm not even really listening to music. Cause if I go across the bridge in the dead of winter, it's like 10 degrees tops.
Dude, and the wind is probably awful.
It's like, I got like this thick leather jacket on. It's just like, please God, that she fucking better be back in her apartment. I can't stand the idea of feeling like this or looking like this. So I came all the way across the bridge.
And run into her.
It's like a quarter-mile bridge, yeah. And I come across, and I look down like the downtown area, and it's like, okay, there's nobody there. And I come across, and then I see her come into frame. And now we're on the same block, walking right by each other. So I'm just like, trying to do the, hey.
That's so much worse.
Hey, bud.
That was the, dude.
I haven't been worried this exact thing would happen for the last half hour, but here we are. And she fucking ducked right into a building. And I just kept fucking going. I didn't react to it. And I had two exact feelings at the same time. Where it's like, I perfectly understand it, but also fuck you. It's like, I get it, But that's not what my plan was. Okay?
Right,
I'm just trying to go on a goddamn walk.
I'm just trying to walk.
God damn it. That actually came up in my mind just the other day, where I just randomly thought, it's like, there might still be a lady out there that thought I was trying to kidnap her. Jesus Christ.
So in Thomas's first appearance here, his first joke that he told, which lost us about fucking 10 to 12 subscribers, was about the fact that how he was walking behind someone and didn't want it to make it seem like he was following them. And of course, as he's walking behind him, it winds up becoming increasingly more, sketch and everything. So it's one of those things. Like I love that type of humor, but I also understand where in reality where it actually comes from and stuff like that.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a total real thing. But what's also funny is that it cost us like 10 subscribers. Like when Thomas told that joke, it literally we tanked. So we were like, "What the fuck happened, man,
dude? What are you doing to us?"
And what's worse is we would start telling people not to say the R word.
Yeah.
And then of course,
I remember that.
As soon as you tell people not to say that the R, Fiona immediately started going into rape jokes immediately, and we're like, Fiona, she's like, "What? I'm crippled. I can do that." I'm like, Jesus
He's like,
Christ.
"Look, man, just let me have this." Fair enough.
I wonder if we could get Fiona to do the show again.
I think she would. I've never asked her just because. I ran into her once at Kegs, and she did not seem like she was enjoying life. I did not want to go up to her and be like, "Hey,
I know you hate it here."
And also, I'm also secretly attracted to her. I want to fuck the shit out of her.
It's not a secret anymore.
It's not any. Well, she doesn't watch this.
Hey, Matt Taylor, bud, you better fucking watch out. Rev is coming for your girl.
Matt, I love you.
Oh, it's Matt and then her.
Yeah.
They're dating.
I apologize. I think I met Matt
go.
once. Maybe.
Matt's a good dude.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know.
I love Matt.
I can't speak for any other guy, but as a guy, if somebody said they wanted to fuck the shit out of my girlfriend, I'd have two reactions. Like, I'm going to kick this dude's ass, but also, hell yeah, thank you. Okay, bud.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
the latter.
Oh, Matt, we love you on this show. We'd love to have you and Fiona both here. I
Sorry I mistook you for Michael Yetman for like a half hour.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm telling you.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm really sorry. I clearly see the distinction now, but for a while there, it was like a fucking coin toss.
You're just like, oh, they both just have glasses and wear hats all the time.
No, so I
See, well, now you look like fucking Matt Taylor. By that description, you're Matt Taylor.
Matt Yetman.
Matt Yetman. Michael Taylor.
So would Matt Yetman still have a lisp or no?
It's an interesting question.
I'm just wondering.
Well, so what would their height be? Because there is a bit of a disparity.
Michael's taller than Matt.
I really hope neither of them say this.
Oh, we talk so much shit about Drew Davis has caught so much shit on this show.
Oh, dude.
There's so many bits about. My favorite is Drew Davis in the glory hole.
Yes. Drew Davis. Meth mouth Drew Davis.
Meth mouth Drew Davis. Yeah.
Meth mouth Drew Davis.
And Drew loves it. Drew loved the bit. He put a little heart on it and everything. He loved the bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give him credit with that. It's like, for any comic in the scene, everybody has like their own opinion about it. But like Drew, as far as like a clean Christian comedian goes, he can fucking take one on the chin. You can give him shit, and he'll fucking just.
Drew, the one thing I love about Drew is because the fact that I can respect him as far as that he will go hard when he wants to. He does his clean thing, but he's a bro, man. He really is. I mean, he's like meeting Drew and getting to know him and everything. Like he's one of those guys that know comedy. He knows funny is funny, and he's not going to take anything harsh.
Yeah, because like I'm nowhere near like a clean comedian. All my bits can be clean. In fact, I did 15 minutes clean, but it's like you have to clean it up. But as far as like when it goes with like me and Drew, he's one of those guys where it's like he could have an issue with me, but he chooses not to because he's just like, hey, you know what? He's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. Just fuck it. Just.
Well, the fact that Drew comes on this show and has a shot with us, like he'll come on and do the whole.
I watched him almost choke it up.
Yeah.
I was in the show.
Like he comes on and does the whole delicious nothing experience, and it's one of those things like I totally respect about him. And
he can hang.
Just, yeah, and that's exactly right. He can hang. Yeah. And then like if whatever anybody and like everyone has taken their shots at him and with him and for him, and he loves it. It's not one of those things like he's ever gotten mad about anything.
It's
like,
a part of comedy.
Exactly right, and it goes all back to funny is funny.
And like my buddies back in high school would give me so much shit that like all these comedians here, they've like some comics that come up and like, hey, did that roast joke, cross the line or something? It's like, I hope I didn't piss you off. It was like, dude, that didn't even that's not even the icing on the cake. It's like, you understand in high school, my dear friends, who are still my best friends to this day, when I would go and talk to a girl for like 2 minutes, and I was away from my locker, they'd steal everything from my locker, run outside, pack it with snow, and put an icicle in it, and hide all my shit throughout the building. Just to fuck with me. Because they knew I wasn't going to do anything to them, and I was like their buddy. They're like, I was the buddy that's like, I was the deflection buddy.
Sure.
Where it's like, we all like fucking got along, but it's like, if we all fuck with John... that means I won't get fucked with. Right. So let's keep fucking with John. And there was a couple moments where I was like, I'm fucking done with these guys. I'm sick of them. Like, to this day, they're like my fucking best friends I've known my whole life. But it's like, I would come back to a locker that I'd open up, and like I remember the time that they packed it with snow and that icicle, and I couldn't even be mad. I was like, I was gone for like a minute and a half. That's genuinely impressive that you pulled. It's like, this was a fucking coordinated team effort. How many days did it take you guys to plan this? And they're just like, we actually were kind of thinking about it for a little bit, and we're kind of happy with the success that pulled off. It's like, all right, well, help me go find all my shit, begin scoop all this snow out of my locker. But it's like, whenever comics come, it's just like, hey, did I cross the line? It's like, buddy, you have no fucking idea where the line is. The line is so far away from like a roast joke.
So like that, your worst shit that you're ever gonna have is with your friends that you have growing up. Like I remember, like that brought back a specific memory to me. Like I wound up having issue at a school and everything, and then when I went to my locker, there was a brand new lock on my locker, and I had to get into my locker, but I didn't want to have to go to the school and tell them that I needed the lock cut off because there was
a pain in the ass.
Well, there was no telling what was in the locker, and so I didn't want like a school official to open the lock. So it was like I was trying my damnedest to find anybody that I knew that had a truck that had like anything, like
severed head.
Like I was trying to find someone that had like a truck or a work truck that maybe had like a bolt cutter or something that I could
just rip this
shit
shit
a hammer, off. Something that I could like knock it off, just something. And I couldn't get it off, and so I had to get to my classes and everything, and I had to get my shit, and so there got to be a point where I had to go to the principal and be like, hey, someone took my lock off and there's this new lock on. But deep down inside, it's like, I know it's going to be the worst thing possible. And I'm thinking it's like it's a dead dog, it's drugs. Yeah, like
why are you immediately expecting as a dead animal?
Because like I know me and what I would do to somebody, and I would do some fucked up thing.
You'd fucking like Godfather somebody, put a horse head.
But I'm saying that's what something that someone would do to me. That's something that I think someone would do to me, knowing what I would do to them. They would have to like trump it up.
Strike.
Yeah, they'd have to trump it up by 10 in order to get me and to actually get me. You would have to really do something because, like, I won't go into it unless you guys want to, but like
let's get into it.
Okay. So anyway,
fuck it.
As far as this story concerns, like I finally got them to cut the lock off, and they opened up the locker and there was nothing in it. Absolutely.
They just locked up your locker.
They just took everything out of my fucking locker.
So that was actually even better than anything being in there. Is just you panicking, being like, "What the fuck could be?"
Because I did that for 2 hours before I finally had to get in there. But also, I mean, I had shit. I had all my personal, like, I used to cartoon. I used to do a lot of cartooning and stuff like that, and comics and stuff, and like all that was gone. And then to this day, I don't know who ransacked my shit.
It's out there somewhere.
All my shit's. And what's crazy is that like I had a folder of all the things, all my animations, and like things that I've never shown people, and things that I'm just like, if this ever saw the light of day, why did I fucking even draw it in the first place? So there's things that someone have. Maybe not even anymore, but you never know. But something that may have in their possession of things that I've done that should have never seen the light of day. But
I like still have panic attacks where I check to see if I got all my like old comedy notebooks in my possession still, because it's like, if this is left somewhere and it's somehow traced back to me, I'm going to prison forever. This is a manifesto of a fucking maniac. And it looks like broken English. It's just words where it's like butt cheeks, the Unabomber, lizard people. It's like whoever this is clinically insane.
So Apple Watches,
So whoever like broke into your locker might have been starting to fuck with you, and then they saw those comics and like,
oh,
let's just burn this. Rev's our friend, and maybe this is the sign he needs.
Why does he draw the tits so veiny?
Why is he mad? They're like angry tits. His tits are like angry. He's got some shit he's working through. What's going on with this guy?
No, one of them was a comic called Bat Fag, where I had
back fat.
No, not at all. Bat Fag. It was Batman.
But
love how I'm the asshole. No, not at all.
Not at all, John. We're actually just gonna.
No, it's not back fag.
So,
it's bat fag. It's like what?
So it was like in 1989 where the Michael Keaton Batman came out. I had not seen it yet, so I had all my little, preconceived ideas about what the movie was going to be. Like completely flip-flopped once I saw the movie. It was like,
it's a great movie.
Still the best Batman movie ever made. But
next to The Dark Knight, but
sure.
Yeah, we'll move.
We can agree on that one.
But anyway, I wound up doing this comic, and I wound up doing like 3 runs of it, and like nobody that I knew who read it really would support it except for like my bros. And like these are the guys that either would want to see you fail or really are like into it more than you are or more than you should be, to the point where like, well, maybe I shouldn't put these out. But it was Bat Fag and Throbbing.
Jesus Christ.
And so the things that I drew and the storylines, it was very hardcore.
I don't want to imagine it, but it's already there's like a Rolodex going through my head.
Yeah, so like now it's the thing. Like now I could probably put that out as hentai, do like a Japanese Weibo version of it, and it would probably make millions of dollars. But at the time in 1989, no, it was very frowned upon.
You might be right about that, but if you put something like that together and you sent it, like, let's say you sent it to me, being like, hey, here's what I'm going for. This might make a lot of money. It's Batman, but with slurs, and there's a lot of anime tentacle sex that goes on. I get 3 minutes into, I get like 3 minutes into it, and I'd call you and be like, hey, man. So there's some dudes in white coats heading to your house right now. That you're going through something, and I just want the best for you. I read this, and I think you're out of your fucking mind. I actually knew a buddy who came up to me, and he said that he had written a play, and I didn't know him well enough.
Did you read the play?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, no.
I didn't know him well enough at the time, but he handed it to me, and I looked at it. I won't say his name or anything like that. This is years and years ago. But he handed it to me, and I just briefly skimmed through it. Just be like, oh, here's the play you wrote. And it just was like almost like hieroglyphics that I was staring at. And it was like just this weird shit where it was written on grid paper. Like landscape format, every notebook comes in notebook format. It was written in landscape format, and there's different colors and highlights and everything. And it's like I remember staring at it. It's like if I knew this guy any better, I'd pull him aside and be like, "You might need to be medicated." It's like I know a lot of people who are medicated shouldn't be, but you clearly fit the bill for fucking medication because This right here is a cry for help. You handed this to me and said, please fix my situation. And now it's my responsibility. And I've known you for maybe 2 months. I don't know what to do, buddy. Oh, for God's sake.
John, I just love when you rant.
It's like, well, usually I get interrupted. So when I start going, it's just like, oh shit, they're just gonna let me go. So
Yeah, we're letting you fly.
I look around and I'm like, all right, well, hey, I'll start just screaming.
Now?
Feel good. Feel like I got a lot off my chest.
Fist bump.
Yeah, fist bump. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. I'm gonna come in that woman.
That did happen.
I think you tried to fist bump me when he said, I'm gonna come in that woman. I was like, don't touch me.
Dude,
I was like, don't fuck it. It's like, don't touch me. I was like, wait a minute.
He learned.
He learned.
He learned.
What did I learn?
Fist bumping Nick is important.
I can guarantee you that's
Fist
not what I
bumping is
learned.
a love language.
Listen, I already knew that. That's not something I learned in that moment.
Actually, that would be
I
a
learned
bad
that-
joke, dude. I look like fist bumping's my love language.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd open with that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry. Like,
No, it's not.
I'm trying to break out of like the
I
same
need
kind of
to,
routine
too.
that all these comics, like especially white comics, that go into. Where if somebody asks, "How did my set go?" You find one thing you kind of liked about it, and you're just like, "That was good." Hey, like you're avoiding conflict. It's just like, I might lose some friends by doing it, but I'm just gonna start. It's like
You should.
I just want to start saying, it's like, hey man, maybe work on that a little bit. Like,
Right.
fuck, bud. I don't know. Or if somebody asks, like, what do you think of my set? It's like, I didn't watch your set. I was in the
too many
bathroom
people's
shitting. Like, do you know how much comedy I see every fucking night? I can't watch everyone's set.
Right.
That's a weird thing that you learn, like, once you start out. Now, I'm going to be the guy that is respectful and watches everyone's set, and then no more than 4 to 5 months in, you're like, if I watch another comedy set, I will blow up a mall.
Well,
I'm going to go hang out outside.
watching your peers is good and all, and it is important to do at times, right?
Depending on where you're watching them. If they're like debuting at a club, if they're like doing club shows, or it's like, oh, it's a big showcase, or here's a beer tap room. Fuck no. If I'm like working out new material, the last thing I want in a crowd is another comedian.
So I was about to say that because like most comedians are most open mics are just the comedians. I mean, pretty much everyone.
Well, here we get a
Some.
few mics that actually draw in a crowd.
Some draw an audience. I don't mind, like, there are certain comics I don't mind getting their feedback, but I don't pry for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I let it come naturally usually. And there are several people in the scene that will naturally come up to me with stuff.
I think this is some of the best advice I ever got, and it was from Aaron Weber, and it was secondhand advice too. He didn't tell me directly, but I heard it from, I think it was Daniel Hobbs or Caleb McCraw that he told directly, and then they told me, where he said, after a certain point in your comedy career, if you bomb, give yourself at most 10 minutes to feel bad about it, and anything after that is like masochistic.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to
Can't
beat
think of
yourself
that.
up, and you want to beat yourself up about it. So it basically comes into the idea of like, live in that moment, like understand why this feels bad. I get why this feels bad, and understand, because it's like an 80-20 kind of thing. 80% of the time, I'll probably go back on this later, but I feel like 80% of the time if you do bad, it's at least somewhat your fault. And then there's at least 20% of the time where it's like, no, this crowd sucks. These people suck ass, and they have no interest in seeing a comedy show, nobody's going to do well tonight. And it's like, that's a weird thing where it's like, you're not happy that your friends who are also on the show were bombing if you bomb, but there's a certain comfort you take in where it's like, all right, well, it's not just me.
I'm not the problem.
If you see your bud go up there and you see that look in their eyes, be like, oh, fuck. And you're like, oh, okay, it's not just me. Oh, woo, all right. Okay, we can get through this.
Not the only one drowning tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
I almost slit my wrist in the bathtub tonight. I got somebody that can relate to what I went through up there. God almighty. Well, it's also the thing, too, it's like you get so much into the vein of doing crowds that are at open mics and just random, like, dive bar showcases that you just immediately think it's like nobody ever wants to see comedy. And then it's like you get a spot at a club and you're like, oh, these people paid to see comedy. They're ready. They're fucking primed, ready to laugh. And you go out there and, like, you actually do bits that you had almost given up on. You're like, I fucking knew that was funny. Like, other people start laughing. I fucking knew it. What the fuck?
that one, that's always the tough choice for me, is like figuring out between like the mics and the showcases. Like, all right, I do need to move around parts of my set. I need to change some jokes out of it, you know.
Here's what I'm just starting to figure out. It's like finding a way to be in the moment. You write all this material that you have calculated and have put out. But at the same time, if you've got enough material and you kind of look at the crowd, especially if you're like third or more going on, you kind of watch the crowd. You watch the bits that work and the bits that don't work from the other comics going up before you. And you're just like, okay, maybe I'll scrap this. I'll try this shit out.
Right.
And then, something that really helps me, if you're like, oh, I got a 10-minute set. What if I bomb for 10 minutes? I have a thought in the back of my head. It's like, it's only 10 minutes.
It is only 10 minutes.
You do this shit every night, dude.
That is like, true.
It's only
so
10 minutes. And also, it's easier to come to that understanding after a few years because it's like, you know, like you have the community around you where it's like, when you bomb, people don't think, oh, he's a terrible comedian. It's like you bomb, it's like, oh, he's having a rough night. Ooh, that poor son of a bitch. It's like, I've seen comedians that I think should have a Netflix deal maybe 10 years before I get one. Go up on the stage and I just watch them and be like, oh, that poor son of a fucking bitch. I fucking feel so bad for that guy. Like, I remember Rob Wentz at like a fucking PB show.
No.
Just having, Kelsey!
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our
Kelsey
favorite
Dixon
people
is on
here.
the show. We got a mic set up right here for you, buddy.
Put that down. What are you doing?
Put that shit. Put that incriminating bullshit away, buddy.
It's his penis. I'm kidding. No, it's
You want
not
to
his
get in on
penis.
the last leg
He's
of this
got
fucking
pants
podcast?
on and shoes. Did you come from football practice?
Yeah, I came here for football practice.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, wait. Where is the seat? Let's grab.
It's right there.
Are you sitting down?
Well,
So-
he's got his car running.
Here's the thing.
okay.
I know your shirt is cool. It says Training Camp, but it's like
Where my titties at?
well, yeah. It's also where your
Is it how
titties
both
at.
your
You
titties
don't know
look?
what it's saying?
Yeah, I'd say I'm staring right at your tits.
Okay.
And the middle part, it's like that's a little upsetting.
Kels, how do you have an A
Maybe
cup
name
and a C
shouldn't be a
cup right
word.
now? No, come over here and look. His you've
Don't
got.
worry about my titties,
That is
all right?
that you have an A cup and a C cup right here. What is this?
You know, ladies love titties. That's what it
Why are titties so lopsided?
is. Because one's heavier than the other one sometimes. I get the right one sucked
Yes,
on.
that
more.
one's heavier than that one.
Right. I get the right one sucked on a little bit
Wait.
more than the other.
First thing, you know what, bud? It's like I feel like I got one ball that hangs lower than the
Oh,
other,
okay.
and I can just kind of like fucking bounce them back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like maybe if I just jostle them enough, that'll fucking even out. It doesn't work. It never works.
It's so you nut stronger on the right side than the left side? How's it work? Like I don't know. I don't know. It's bigger on the other side. so I
Dude,
gotta figure
one
out.
of my balls hangs lower
Look,
than
bud,
the other.
a nut is a nut. I'm not paying attention to the direction it goes.
Gotta pay attention.
Unless if I'm like either busting inside or pulling out.
Right,
that's the only time I pay attention to the direction that the nut goes.
Do you like bust inside all the time?
I mean, if she tells me go for it, it's like I'm going for it.
Did you go for it?
Oh Lord.
It's like, I got the consent. I don't fucking care what happens after this.
You pull out, you spill it on the floor. How you do it? Put it on the TV.
Spill on the floor.
most of the
Why would you
time,
make a mess?
Yeah, not on the floor. Always have a towel in the room, first of all.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Always
Do you
have a towel in the
do
room.
dry towel or wet hot towel?
Dry towel?
Wet hot
Wet
towel.
That's
hot towel.
class
Wet
right
hot
there.
towel. Well, believe me, wet hot towel.
Nah,
That is
no,
not
the wet
class.
hot towel was class. That's what I was trying to say.
You told me a dry
I was like,
towel was
that's
class.
class.
It's like that's clearly not.
It sounds like
Dry
a bird.
towel is
I fucking
class.
throw it at her head and tell her, "Here's some cab fare, you fucking bitch!
No,
Get out of my house!"
what I was trying to say is that John, your way is the hot way.
You dip it in hot water.
You dab it in hot water and put it on there, right? It's like real hot and warm. And like she gonna freak out first because like, why are you wiping me? Because that's the first thing she's gonna think.
yeah,
Like,
she's gonna love
she gonna
that,
think she's
though.
a baby. Like,
She's gonna
I'm
be like,
listen,
hell
baby, it's
yeah.
She'll
okay.
think she's being prepped
Yeah,
for an
prepped for
autopsy or
autopsy
something.
and
You're
stuff.
just like, all right.
And like I ain't never had nobody do this. I promise they freak out when you.
You're like, stage one is over.
And then you gotta
pull
look
out
at
a
when your eyes
scalpel.
You gotta be real big with it. You know these glasses. You know they thick. So
You're not blinking and tears are coming down your
tears, nothing.
cheeks.
You want me to put like a stethoscope around my neck
Yes.
too when I
Yeah.
have
It's like, where'd the lab
Some
coat come from?
gloves.
Your dick is still out.
That's crazy. How y'all fellas been doing though?
Good. How you been doing, buddy?
Man,
Feels like it's fucking
been.
been.
It's been like 25 years. You know what I'm saying? As you can tell, my titties gotten bigger on the right side.
It hasn't
What are your
been.
titties? This kind of
It hasn't been 25 years.
Oh, you know what? It
You just
happened.
lied to me. I was 25 years ago.
My bad.
You didn't know me when I was
forgot.
2.
I forgot. I did not know
I
you.
didn't know.
How did you forget? How much did you smoke today?
Too much.
You time traveled?
Yeah, time travel to another.
You met me when I was still a
Wait,
baby
you
in
was
Portland,
25
Oregon?
years ago, you was only 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You
27.
was 2?
No, I would have.
He was
been,
2'2".
I would have been 5.
You were 5. Dang,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Rev, you was already like 26.
I was
right?
already 27.
Yeah, 27. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
I was a little kid. I
25
loved
years ago.
Batman.
So 10. So I was 10. I was 10, almost 11.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense then, because you're.
Yeah, 5 years older now. Yeah,
That's
you're,
right.
You're young, but got an old man's face.
All right, yeah, I have a whole bit about it, man.
That is his.
This is
whole
my night
thing.
off. Do you still have to fucking hit me with that?
Like you know.
At least I don't look like I don't have the fucking forehead and haircut of Predator. Look at
Hey.
you.
It's true.
I can be that guy. You know.
That is true.
I jump off trees like
Yeah.
a monkey.
You look.
At any time you bomb, you can fucking pull out
Pull
the
out the
fucking
look, yeah,
suicide
I got something for your asses. You know, I
Arnold
went to the zoo
Schwarzenegger's
for the
always
first
running away
time
from
as
you.
an adult, right? I went to for the first time in a long time, and they got a movie theater in there, bitch, right? I didn't know that.
Ooh.
You know that about the zoo? A zoo got a
No.
movie theater in there,
No.
like a little
What?
movie theater. Well, this is the first time going with white people. I've never been to a zoo with white people, and you know they take you to
I
animals
didn't know
they ain't
there
never
was a
seen.
First of all, this could go 100 different ways.
It's a
If
lot
you're
of
talking
ways.
about, I've never been to the zoo with white people. It's like, oh,
No.
where is this going?
You know how you just walk and you just see everybody's in front of you walking, you're not really paying attention.
Right.
So I'm walking and then like we get through the zip lines, right? Making me do white people shit, zip lining and shit. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm walking.
Fuck zip lining, by the way. Fuck zip lining.
That shit.
Yeah,
so as I'm
scary.
going in there, I'm walking, and they was like, we're going to. So I just happened to look up. So I was looking at my phone, look up, and see everybody going to this little building. I was like, what the fuck are they going? And I walk in, and the little tall Asian dude was like, oh. And first of all, he was tall and Asian. Threw me the fuck off because he was like 2 inches taller than me. I was like, hold on, you like 6'3". Bro.
That's a big dude.
That's a big fucking dude.
That's a big
Whatever.
dude.
So I was like, what's that over there? He said, oh, we got a movie theater here. It's for shark. We do sharks and shows and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he was like, here's some glasses for 4D. Never
4D.
been. I was like, what the fuck is 4D?
4D.
My brain was like, what the fuck is 4D? I don't give a fuck
They
about
spray
that.
water at you?
Fucking asshole. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
They fuck
sitting in
with
this
you.
thing, and like my friend was like, hey, Kels, hey, they're gonna put water on you. And she said it so fast, I was like, what? What are you talking about? Water? What water? I don't give a, what water? I got my phone on me. What are you talking about? Shh, you're gonna ruin it for the kids. Didn't say
What
nothing
kids?
else. I'm like, what kids? What do you? I have no idea. Everybody's like friendly. So I see a bubble go across the screen. And I was like, it's a fucking bubble. And then something touched my leg, and I was like, what the fuck?
Fuck that.
But 2 minutes before that, a baby was staring at me. This white blue-eyed baby was staring at me. Right, this staring hard at me like he never seen chocolate before. Like he was like, yeah.
She's like,
Right, so about 5 minutes later, they said the shark splashes, jumps in the water, boom, and this fucking mist of juice came on my face.
Juice?
I don't know what it was
Juice?
because it's dark. It felt like juice. I thought the kid spit on me.
So
you thought that baby was racist?
You're like, fucking Nazi baby!
I was like,
I'm gonna get him.
Fuck! Did the baby just spit on me? Because it came from their direction. Right? So I was like, ain't no way this fucking 1-year-old baby just spit on my fucking face. I'm
gonna fuck this baby
up. I'm gonna fuck this baby up. Everybody else, no. I'm like, no, this baby just fucking spit on me. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, no, it's a baby that spit on me.
So now you think a whole audience is like, ah, racist baby.
Yeah, like, you think it's a racist baby in here, and he's only one. Like, he doesn't know.
Yeah, dude.
And the fact that the seat had the water in the seat, and I didn't know it got me twice before I figured out it was coming from the seat.
Oh, the seat in front of you.
Yeah, the seat in front of me.
You got hit twice. And you're like, this racist ass baby. It's gonna keep spitting on me.
This motherfucker spit on me. And then it touched me on my back. I was like, what do you got me in? I said, this is why I don't go with white people nowhere where I don't know where I'm going. I should have paid attention before I walked in. And everybody should have warned me before. It was like my son was there. He didn't know what was going on. He started hiding under the table, under the chairs. He said, he said, something's wet going all over my face. I'm like, son, don't say that out loud.
Dude, those 4D experiences are fucking horrible.
No, I don't.
They're horrible experiences. I went on one, it's like we went to Disney World when, like, my family and I, we were all grown adults, just to see one thing, and I fucking hate Disney World at this point. I can't fucking stand it. I can't stand the people that love it. All that shit. Fuck Disney World. But we went on this Avatar ride. You know that horrifically overhyped Avatar show where it's like, oh, the blue people are fucking on another planet. It's like the same action movie 100 times over, but everyone fucking comes their pants over it.
Facts.
But my dad has like severe back problems. He's always had like health issues. And it's one of those 4D things where it's like you're in a big theater and you gotta ride this whole thing and they're spraying shit with you. So
I heard, because when you say 4D, I didn't know what 4D meant. I didn't know. I didn't.
4-dimensional. It's quote unquote.
Well, yeah. So I didn't know what it meant when they first said it. I heard a 3D, and I was like, 4D. That means I must be in the motherfucking TV. That's all I kept thinking. I must be in the screen. If it's 4D, I'm there.
So I thought I'm putting on goggles. And I'm just in there.
So I had my regular glasses on with the goggles on, like the little goggles. And I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is happening here?
Yeah. Why is shit spraying everywhere?
So when we're on the Avatar ride, we're on like basically just like a ripped off like Kawasaki motorcycle. And my father has back pain. They're like, we're gonna go over the water fountain now. And my dad goes, oh! He fucking hits it hard, and then they spray him in the face with mist. Like when we got out of there, my mom's like, so Randy, do you think you'd ever come back to Disney World or anything? And my dad goes, no!
Yeah, no.
I didn't want to come here this time.
And you got me. Yeah.
Fucking hate
I
this
still
place.
showed up. Dude.
It's Florida. I can't stand the heat.
Yeah, it's so hot in Florida. Honestly, I believe. Honestly, when us African people came here to the world, I believe they dropped us off in Florida. Because it's so black. They're all black as hell down there. And it's their natural habitat because they can be out there in the heat for no reason.
Is that where the North Atlantic slave trade started?
That's why I feel like it started.
Listen, it's hot as shit down here.
Hot as shit here. And that's where you got dropped off at. Florida.
Can you imagine that? This sounds
natural
like
habitat. It's hot as hell. It's like Africa.
It sounds like a horrible. Well, it's like where my natural habitat is like way up north, where it's like always cold and rainy. Where it's like, this just feels right. It's like today with all this rain come down. There's a part of me that's just like, this feels right.
What happened?
I'm from Montana. It's like deep South Canada.
You from where is only like the ratio of like 1 per 10,000 black people there.
Oh yeah, it's mostly this.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's either white people or Native Americans up in Montana, and you get a huge. It's mostly Salish that's up in Montana. You get a lot of the Salish tribe up there.
That's more.
And I talked about this.
No authentic Mexican food.
No authentic Mexican food.
No, God no. Except for Cafe Rio. Cafe Rio is fucking legit.
Rio.
But it's like. You know what's weird too is like up there, cause like down here there's a lot of like the racial disparity. It's like white and black and African American, Caucasian, stuff like that. But up north, you hear a lot more about the racial disparity, like white and Native American. And I've talked about this on this podcast before, but like my buddy Jay, who's like full-blown Native American, I worked with him for years. He's one of my good buddies. He would tell me, it's like, he would kind of lay out the reservations, be like, here's the reservations you should drive through, and here's the ones, don't even stop for gas.
Yeah, it's
Just fucking keep it moving, bud. Just,
crazy.
so if you can avoid that area, don't go in there.
It's crazy that it's in America that we have to like we can't
You
stop
still
at certain
have
places.
to kind of like
Yeah,
segregate
you're
police.
segregating places and everybody, and you got to stop at certain. You can't stop here because it used to be like it on Jefferson out here in East Nashville. East Nashville used to be like, it'd be like, oh, you going to AJ's, or you going out there to AJ's and all that? Like, nah, fam, I'm good.
Be the only white guy out there.
I don't even want to go out there, fam. No, don't go over there. But it changed. It changed so much. Like the where people are migrating to and people are coming in, they're trying to get all those people out. So they're trying to.
Well, there's also there's like a pro and a con to that.
A pro and con
where it's like if it's a bunch of different groups of people like moving in together, being in the same community, you're going to have like a different kind of understanding. However, when it's a bunch of us moving in, it's like, well, the rent's going to fucking skyrocket.
Yeah. It happened in Franklin. It happened like where my town is at. Like there was projects there, and then when they started trying to do everything, they tore down the gym first for all the kids to go play in, and they went there, and then they tore down all the restaurants that was there. Like KFC was gone, the Dairy Queen was gone, the stores,
even the chains,
all that's out of there.
Yeah.
They put a jail right in front of the projects area.
Oh,
They took the liquor stores out. There's only like one liquor store right in the area, close to the area. I think so. And they took all the little stores out. They built it all up, and then they tore like most of the bad projects out first. They tore the first one out, which was Reddick's Court, because that was the real bad one at first. They tore that down first, and they put the newer homes up there, and put older people over there, kicked those people out. And then now, but the crazy thing is, in those homes over there, because I lived there for a while, you can't smoke in the building, you can't smoke in your house, you can't put pictures on the walls, can't do can't have, pretty much not supposed to have animals unless they have certain like the shots and all the other stuff up. You got, I mean, it's a whole, like they can come in your house at any time. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. They can literally walk in your house,
which is
open
actually
your door while you in there. I've been there butt ass naked before, and you just they'll walk in just to investigate your house.
That's also fucking crazy because it's like
nuts.
it's somehow like a loop around. Like I think it's the Fifth Amendment where it's like you can't just walk into somebody's home.
They'll walk in the house and they were like, where we coming down? Sometimes they'll send like, little letters at the house and say, hey, we're coming over to put this in tonight. Make sure your dog is put up.
Or you?
Like that. Right? I was like, okay, cool. But like we can't change our filters. If a light goes out, we got to call the maintenance people. We can't change the curtains, bro. You can't change the curtains.
Do any of that on your own?
Nope. Can't change the blinds. If you change the blinds, it's a fine. Like you get fined for everything. Like I was putting washing machines one time, and washing machines are big, right? So the other two was bad, so I had them sitting on my porch. I had moved them to my porch, and I had the other two in, so I got boxes everywhere. I've been there 5 years. I ain't never had no issues, so he just happened to come in because he needed to change you know how black people is in fire alarms. Them shits go off all damn day. It don't matter what time it is. That motherfucker, titty.
Fuck it.
Yeah, we hear it so much, we don't even know what that noise is. They're like, you hear that fire? I'm like, what?
It'll go off at some point. Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah, nobody cares. So he comes in to change it.
And then the one white guy in the boulevard is like, what the fuck is lighting their alarm going?
It's always.
I'm trying to sleep.
So yeah, he changed it. They messed it up. Really. Like when they came in, they said my house was dirty, and I had to go to like a cleaning class. I was like, bro, y'all be here
class?
for like you have a cleaning class, or you don't take it, it's $100 fine.
Fuck them.
So I'm like, look, y'all been here 5 years. You never walked in my house. It was dirty. Obviously, you see wash machines in the freaking living room that they don't belong there because I'm trying to put them together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do stuff. I got boxes there. They came in off the crate, so it was still boxed up. Everything.
I'm in the middle of something.
I'm in the middle of something, so obviously it wouldn't be like this.
I'm working on some shit. Come back in 2 hours.
It'd be different. So, but yeah, I flooded that apartment out one time.
Oh, shit.
It's like all this stuff I did. It was all bullshit.
Yeah,
I did flood it one time. I did flood the fuck out of it.
So my bathroom sink upstairs at that time was clogged up, but I didn't know it. I went to brush my teeth, and I guess when I was walking out the door, I didn't shut the whole thing off. So I've been gone for like 10 hours.
Okay, so hang on. You didn't fully shut it off?
Apparently, I didn't fully shut it off.
Was the stopper all the way down?
No, it was no stopper in there. It was nothing in it. Like, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. What the fuck? When I came back.
So it just got so clogged.
It got clogged.
That just a tiny amount of a drip after 10 hours. It's like, let's flood this fucking apartment.
I probably was running for a minute.
Well, the thing is, too, is like, if you said it was upstairs, right? If a sink like that, if it's like close enough to the stairs, the moment it starts like filling up and spilling over, that's an immediate flood.
It didn't go downstairs though. You know what it did? Went through the house, went through the roof of the. It was in my kitchen.
Oh, so instant mold.
So I came in the kitchen and like it was coming out the ceiling.
It's like, why is my kitchen raining?
It's just raining water, and it was all.
Thought I was inside.
It was about this much water on the floor in the kitchen.
Jesus Christ, bud.
So my living room is all connected, but my living room was good. Like only part that was messed up, and this is how I know that when they tore the projects down, they supposed to made them brand new and fix everything. Well, if you walk in, it looks just like Project Steel without the bricks. It looks the same yellow colors.
Same
you turn
color.
the light on and it look like that light right there. It's yellow, right?
Same
That's what
people.
it looks like. And the same
just
people.
Way higher prices.
Just way higher prices. So, and it's leaning. So everything in my kitchen was wet. My living room, everything where my TV is right beside the kitchen. Everything was right beside it. Nothing over there was where all my electricity. Everything beside the front door was this much water in it. It like literally skipped everything and went straight to the front door part. I was like, wow, water coming here, there. How the fuck water way over here then and not over here too? Like, so you know it's way off. Like everything is the thing's way off. And then I had another flood in there, and the pipes busted. And I went to go, I seen the water and I said, damn, my washing machine must have messed up again. So I turned it off. I was like, no, everything working, everything good. What the fuck? Vacuum it out, whatever. Get the water out. Cool.
Well, so if it's in the kitchen, it's like linoleum. It's like, I get some towels.
It's with
just
towels
fucking
and
wipe it up.
Yeah, get it up. Then the next, later on that day, the next day, it piled up again. I was like, all right, this water's coming from somewhere. Could not figure out. Then my neighbor had the same issue. They had to cut a hole in the damn wall because of the pipe that they never put brand new in there. Busted out, and it was just coming out the side of the wall. But I had it there, and then my stove and my refrigerator that's on the other side of there had water all piled underneath it, but nothing in the middle of the floor, nothing nowhere else but those two spots.
Dude, I fucking
didn't make no sense at all.
My first apartment nearly flooded. It would have flooded. Like my first apartment back home, like my first apartment ever in my life, it nearly flooded, and it would have if I hadn't passed out before I went to the gym. Because if I had left 10 minutes later, the whole place would have been like just like inches of water. But my neighbor, it was like a downstairs apartment. It was like one of those old, like 100-year-old buildings that used to be a mansion, and then they just cut it up into like seven different apartment rooms. So I was in the basement where they probably tortured and killed a bunch of slaves and shit like that.
He was down there having flaming flashbacks.
My first like 3.5 years in my first apartment was in a 350 square foot apartment where I slept on a Murphy bed. And so
shit, they came out the wall?
Yeah.
Dog?
I never put it back in the wall.
So you had a prison bed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I basically had a prison cell that was it was like a 2-minute walk away from my prison of a job working in fried chicken.
A fried chicken joint.
But
so
my
was
neighbor.
Black at one point in time. That's what you're telling me.
At one point in time.
That's what he said. He had fried chicken. He had a prison. He lived under the basement. It seems black to me. That's all I can hear.
You're telling me at one point in time, I showed up to the show wearing sweatpants, bud. This shit's still going on.
Every time I look at him, I say, he wears the same outfit.
I've never felt more home than when I moved 2,000 miles away from home. All these black comics I met, it's like, you know what? I actually relate more to these guys than anybody else.
We all wear the same thing.
Look at that. I knew somebody else wore sweatpants in public.
I wear them every day if I can.
But I had a neighbor in that same basement area whose pipe burst so fucking hard that through the plumbing of that whole downstairs area, the linoleum in like the tiny little kitchen I had in that apartment split open because the water was shooting from the pipe so much that like I passed out and took a nap and woke up just to see like a half-inch of water creeping its way towards my Wi-Fi router that was on the ground. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! Oh shit! I was like ripping blankets off my bed.
In a virtual Titanic.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? What's that? Especially when you wake up from a nap, you don't have all your faculties.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's happening? What's happening? So I'm like trying to cover it up. And it takes me a couple seconds till I realize, like, oh, this isn't stopping. Mm-hmm. And I can hear, like, down the hall and in the other room.
That's crazy.
It's like, fuck. So, like, called the property company. I found, like, the water shut off, and I fucking shut it off. And I told him, it's like, hey, something happened to my neighbor. I don't know if he's in there, but...
Yeah,
he might be dead. You need to go check on him.
So they came in, they brought in, like, the maintenance people. They opened the door up. I swear to God, like 3 inches of water, because like when you go through that apartment, you step down, the whole place, it was just like, it was like the polar ice caps had melted in his apartment, and it was just sitting there. It's like, oh fuck. And what was weird was that wasn't my first neighbor at the place. That my first neighbor was the guy who introduced me to blow. But that was the second neighbor. We'll just move past that.
Yeah. We ran right past it. First neighbor, boom.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
don't worry about it.
Like, what's going
when
on?
you wrote the horror book, right?
Yeah, it was around that time. Yeah.
I never.
Around that, a couple years after that as well, because it was a year-long process, a couple years. But that second neighbor, that place we had that had got flooded, I asked him, I was like, so you got a place to stay, anything like that, bud? And he's like, well, no, that's just the apartment I have to hide from my family.
That's funny.
So I guess I'll just go home. And it's like, oh, okay.
Did you pay for blow?
Never.
Actually,
once.
I was going to say, because you don't pay for weed, so I know you don't pay for blow.
Yeah, no.
I'm just making sure. I was like,
see, weed was always just handed to me.
It was handed to you. I remember you got.
I've only ever done blow 3 times, and it was always at a party where someone's like, "Come on, try it. We're having a good time." It's like, all right, and then I take like one bump, and it's like you're like 8 beers deep, and then suddenly you're 2 beers deep, and it's like, but at the same time, it's like this guy wants to hear all the stories I have in the world.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna sit him down and tell him all that shit.
Yeah, I never done it. I'm scared.
Don't, especially now.
Interested.
Don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because it's on fentanyl and all the other shit is in it.
Well, it's like the fact that like this pinky nail of fentanyl will kill you. It's not worth it, man.
No, it's not worth it.
Just do the psychedelics and smoke some weed. It's not
worth it at all.
It's not fucking worth it.
Like I watched my homeboys. My homeboy used to do it when I lived in Shelbyville, and he used to, and that's when I first seen somebody do it, and I was like 19, and dude was doing it, and he would just get paranoid. And he'd get paranoid. He would sit at the back door with his drawers, and and he was old school, so he had the drawers with the slit in the middle. So if you move too much, the dick gonna fall out, right?
That's actually what I currently have.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't.
That's also how I fit in with all the black comics.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's how Belly Button and I get along.
That's the reason why.
I just walk around with this underwear, and it's like, yeah, that's my bud.
That's my bud. Yeah, that shit. But he used to sit in front, like in his drawers with a shotgun at the back door because he would think people was about to come in the house. And the fact that he ended up dying because somebody did come in his house. Because he was a snitch. He got caught.
Yeah, because
he got caught. He got
his fucking mind the whole time.
You go across border with 300 X pills, and you leave Atlanta from 300 X pills, and then get caught, and then you was out of jail the next week. You was at the house chilling, like nothing happened.
Oh, you're kind of begging for something to happen, bud.
You snitched on somebody because
something's happening. So yeah,
he came from Atlanta, but we couldn't find him for a couple of days. We didn't know, but. He wasn't talking to him, but his car was still there. And when we finally got in touch with him, we kind of went to the door, knocked on it, and tried to get in. And we finally got in the door, and because we smelled the smell, the dog was eating on him. His dog was eating on him the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, he must came.
Little dog?
A big dog.
Big dog.
Mm-hmm. Usually it's the little dogs.
Right.
That's also
He's
how
a
you
rock.
know.
It was a pit.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So yeah. So it was and we didn't know, but it was like they must came and got him that night. They must came in.
I must have
killed him in that weekend. We didn't know about it the whole weekend. So
give it a couple days.
But that's why I can't do nothing. I can't be sitting.
Like he's taking the weekend off. He's chilling. He's just fucking
he's
dead.
Just dead the whole time. You don't fucking know it, and it's crazy that you'll walk into some stuff like that.
It's fucking insane, dude. Like that's also it's like if you ever have a buddy that shows up. Somebody's like, you know what? Jail's great. You only have to do a week in there, and they bring you Chick-fil-A every day. You're like, oh, we're all going to prison. I didn't even do shit. I'm going to prison.
Yeah, because I went to jail a lot as a kid. Because I grew up in the state custody system. I grew up in the system, so going back and forth in jail, like, that shit's not fun. Like, going back and forth, and then you're walking in, and people like looking at you like, what you did wrong, and then you tell them, you're like, fuck you in here for? And they're like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, I know, bro.
No, it's like they know, like, hardened criminals, and you show up just being like, oh,
Just
I
all
didn't have
casual.
a chance to begin with, so
like,
I'm
why
just...
the hell are you in here, bro? Like,
Say I'm here because the foster system fucked up, so I'm just saying. I knew a guy, like, I knew my buddy Jay that I was talking about earlier on this podcast. He got busted for, like, GTA, something like that. He was supposed to do 2 years of probation.
yeah, the video game?
No, yeah, he got busted playing Xbox.
Damn, he kicking ass.
He was just having a fucking nice night, and the cops were like, fuck that! And like, kicked the door down.
Like,
No good times for you. We're
This guy's minding his own business and having fun? Fuck
That's
him!
why I figured out what shrooms was. The other thing was like my third time in juvie, and this kid come in, and I think I've been in juvie for about a week at that point in time. He comes in, and we was in the because when in Franklin, I think the first 48 hours you gotta go to solitary. The first 48 hours.
For 2 days?
2 days.
Wow.
Why?
I don't know. It's as soon as you come in. That's
They're
the
just
first-
trying to fuck you up to begin with?
Mentally,
You don't have a fucking
you have no
chance
choice
going through that
so
shit.
the first 2 days, you're going straight to your own room in the corner. Is what it is.
They're like,
And
hey, I
then they'll put you
immediately
in a pod
come in.
after that. You know, they'll put you in a pod after that.
With your falsely
With-
accused,
yeah,
fuck
like
you.
whatever it is, right? So, and he comes in, I guess he was in the thing. He come in, he was just limping. And he was like, man, I was like, damn, bro, you got burn marks everywhere. Because he had burn marks in his knee, his arm. He got tased like 6 times, I think. He was on shrooms, right? Shrooms. And that's why I didn't want to do him for the longest. Because he was on shrooms. He said he thought he was Jesus.
Whoa.
So he took some heavy
He
shrooms.
took some heavy shrooms.
He thought he was
took a
the
lot of
Messiah.
shrooms. He thought he was Jesus. He went to a Wendy's and peed in the middle of the floor.
What?
This is what Christ would do.
He peed in the middle of the floor and started yelling out, "Jesus is saving us."
Fuck you and your fresh cut fries.
Yes, yeah. Peed in the middle of the floor. So the cops were trying to get
Chicken
him,
nuggets.
and he fought a woman cop, and they tased him. He had burn marks, like deep burn marks.
You know,
burn around his
Oh.
skin.
I'll be honest, I've had moments where I've also wanted to piss on the floor of a
Really?
Wendy's and be like, Christ is coming
Have
for
you
all
ever
of
been
us.
tased before?
No.
I've been tased
Actually,
before.
Shit.
I've had similar things. I've been burned and
Burned.
shit like that, but
Yeah, tased, man, that shit.
you just see
I got
them.
tased. I got tased in the ass. That was the worst part. I mean,
By who,
I
your
had
boyfriend?
like
Got
got
him.
to fight in the club.
Got him.
In the ass.
In the ass. I got to fight in the club with my friends.
You got to fight in the club, and a guy was like, fuck him right in the ass.
Yeah, so I was like laying there. I got in the fight in the club, and we beat dude up, and we was all getting taken out. Like my friend, it was probably like 10, 12 security guards. So my friend had one. They put him in a full Nelson. He got yanked out real fast. He was like, I'm done. I'm like, bro, you gave up that fast. And then it was like, me and my other friend, we were the
Pussy.
biggest. We were pussy. That's all we could
I'm
say.
going to go through this fight until
We
I
got
get tased right in
We
the
got
ass.
4 on this. We get out, and I've been drinking Fireball. I've been also been drinking, what's that shit with the Red Bull? Hold on.
Oh, vodka rep?
Vodka Red Bull.
No, it's Jägermeister.
Yeah.
That's a deadly concoction.
So I had all those. So I was already
Fireball and
You
Jägermeister?
turned.
You're like, I am God.
I was turned.
And I am also pissed. And I will kill everyone around me.
So I was like on the pole. I was like, the police behind me, or the security guards behind me. And I'm like, I'm good, bro. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, you got beat up, it's cool. And I had my hands on the pole, and dude was like coming out. I guess he heard the commotion. So he tried to hit my hands on the pole. And you know, you're drunk. You don't really feel a lot of shit. So I just looked at him like, bro, I don't even feel that, fam. You're
I'll feel
wasting
it
your
tomorrow,
time.
but I don't
You're
feel
wasting
it
your
right now.
time.
You won't feel it for
So
the
I think
next
I'm
few
good. So
hours.
as I'm coming down the ramp, and this is at Club Luau Louis. This is so long ago.
That is such a dude. I haven't
you
heard
remember?
that.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's how
God.
long ago it was.
That's like saying
Louis.
Silverados
It's like
or something,
Silverados,
dude.
Club Luau Louis.
Jeez.
That's where all the
Ooh.
fresh. That was like when the fresh.
The limelight,
Limelight,
dude.
yeah.
I
Fresh.
gotta take a piss. I'll be right back.
Oh,
the
God,
fresh
dude.
18-year-olds were going there then.
You are talking about some old.
So when that
old
motherfucker
places.
came down, he like, I guess the dude we got in a fight. I was walking, I had like 5 security on me. Walking towards the thing, I'm good. I'm good, everybody. And they were gonna take me to the police officer. and the dude jumped from the railing from Club Louis and punched me while I had my hands tied up.
Yeah.
So when he punched me while my hands tied up, but I apparently shook everybody off that was on me, and swung one time. So when I swung, all the security guards thought I was swinging at them, and I was really trying to hit. I hit him, so I got tackled by more guys. So it was like 7 on me at that point in time. I'm on the ground, and it was like tase his ass, tase his ass. And I was like, tase my ass. He literally took the tase and shot me in the ass with it, literally. While my hand right here, right. I had the tightest cheeks I've ever had in my life.
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I literally couldn't take a shit for like at least 2 days.
Yeah, you couldn't sit down. You had to sleep on your stomach.
Yeah, like
dude.
because he got me in the ass for real.
I heard the tightest ass of my life.
Yeah.
You couldn't take shit for 2 days.
Beat up Kelsey and then tased him in the butt cheeks.
I
I've been
imagine.
jumped several times in fights. So
Dude,
it's been,
you know, I got
You told me that when you worked in security.
when I worked
before.
security downtown. I mean, I got a video.
When you worked at
the tin roof.
yes.
I got jumped by 7 people at the front door.
Jeez.
Yeah.
First of all, because we're about to get into that story,
Yeah.
I just got to say, there's been about 100 moments that could be clips from this. I don't know. This whole podcast has been like the perfect storm where we've argued movies for 40 minutes and then at the same time say, I got tased in the asshole.
I got tased.
We should call this guys being dudes.
Yeah.
Guys,
This is just buds being dudes.
Episode 125,
Yeah,
folks.
That shit sucks.
Because you showed up, you've done like half an hour.
But I got jumped when I was younger.
time.
I got jumped twice when I was younger. So in my young days, I got jumped twice, and then I got jumped as doing security twice. And that was my last 5 months there. My last 5 months there, my last year and a half there, I got into more fights than I did the first 3 years.
So
I didn't even get in a fight my first 2.5 years. I worked security. I didn't get in one argument. I learned like, is this all I gotta do all day? Is just walk motherfucker? I didn't have to do it.
It was just the universe telling you should quit this job.
It was like the universe telling me to quit this motherfucker.
This job sucks, dude. You should get out of here.
You're mad every day. You're pissed off.
You hate it here.
I hate it here. And
it's just going to keep getting worse.
It's going to get worse.
I do have to ask, is there ever a moment right before you got jumped, especially like the 4th time you got jumped, was there ever a thought that you kind of looked around and thought, there's some shit going down here?
Not even close.
Or did it, oh shit, so
Not
it
even
just
close.
suddenly, it's like, oh fuck, we're doing this
We're
now.
already in there. It's when I was doing that security, that first time I got jumped, I was at the front door, and I was minding my own business, and I seen this man, I'm the head over there at that time, so I can let whoever I want in and whoever I don't want in there, regardless of what it is, I don't care. So I have full control. So I'm watching this man walk down drunk, sliding on the side of the wall, this and that.
he's
so I
fucked
seen
up.
him, and me and my guy I was by myself, so I was like, all right, I'm not gonna let him in. I'm gonna see what's out there.
He's drunk, but
he's
just
drunk.
let him do his thing.
So he comes in. First thing he gives me an ID, and I was like, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry, but tonight's just not the night.
You're clearly fucked
too
up.
Intoxicated. Come in tomorrow. You good to go." Like I do that with everybody. It's the first thing we say. That's what we're supposed to say. So he was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, it's not happening." So he come back
usually
again.
not too receptive to that.
From Ohio. He's from Ohio. So he comes back.
Don't motion at me like Montana and Ohio. I know they're. First of all, I know they're the same thing. I've also been the guy to be like, I know I'm fucked up, but I'd like more booze, and you're fucking letting me in there.
So I guess he had his kids with him. He had kids and he got girlfriends, whatever. So I'm not thinking about it because I'm just focused on him. It's just.
You're doing your job.
I'm doing my job. I'm like, I'm sorry, just not letting you in. He was like, you know what? Fuck this N-word.
Oh.
So that's what. So I was. He gave me the ID and he said it. I just looked at him. So it's on video. I just looked at him when he said it. Okay.
You process it.
I'm processing it, and by that time I'm processing it. I get pushed by somebody else. From him, his friends, I guess.
His friends.
So when I got pushed, I just reacted.
What the fuck did you do to
my
deserve
reaction?
this?
Like nothing at all. It was literally 2 seconds. It was like it. So I just reacted. I threw the first punch because I got pushed first. I just protected myself. But I was I was in a corner in the door. The door was shut, so I couldn't fall back, and I couldn't go nowhere. So I was in the corner. I had my back protected.
You're boxed in.
My boxed in.
You're fucked up.
So I was like, okay, I'm boxed in. I should be okay with my back turned. So now I'm fighting one person. And when I punched that one person, 7 other fists came. So I just took cover, right? I just took cover. So I don't know where it's coming from.
Who are all these assholes defending these pieces of shit?
Nobody's defending. So it's girls that's trying to punch me. It was the dudes who's punching me. So I'm taking the punches, and I'm swinging back. I don't know what. As long as I have this wall to me, I'm okay. I'm all good. I'm not going to hit this ground. I refuse to hit this ground. I got my back to me. So I'm punching, get up, and then I punch again, and then I like duck again, and I guess one of the dudes he uppercut me, right? And I felt it. I was like, you motherfucker. Oh. I felt it. And by this time I did that, some dude was trying to take me down. So as I'm getting punched, I'm feeling somebody grab my leg and going down, trying to tackle me down. But I'm in this corner in this wall. So when he hit me, I was like, I'm still protecting, and all I did was take him and push him off. Like, I'm already in this corner. I already got protection of myself, so nothing's happening. So now I'm fighting more people. So after they're trying to scramble away. Now after they got their little punches in, they're trying to scramble away. I'm still going after them. This black man just ran in. You know, Broadway don't have a lot of black people.
You're grabbing somebody.
I'm grabbing somebody. So this black dude just randomly grabbed me just grabbed me. They don't need to see you like this, brother. Stop it.
Well, here's the thing.
And I was like, where the fuck did he come from? Like, he just like he was like Jesus.
Just like a guardian angel. It's like,
came out of nowhere.
Come with me.
They don't need to see you like, they don't need to see you.
I've been in this position before. But here's the thing.
Back out.
At the same time, it's
fuck
like,
those guys.
I know, I understand why somebody would come in and be like, hey, they don't need to see you like this. It's only going to be fodder to, it's like, but it's only going to be fodder to already the big fucking idiot assholes that already want to believe that shit. Yeah. For the rest of us that see a group of like 8 white people beating up a black dude doing his job because one of their buddies called him a slur, we're gonna be like, no, hunt them all down.
Hunt them all down.
Fucking shoot fucking poison darts out of your wrist and kill them all.
And then what's so crazy about it, after everything else and they scrambled away and I'm walking in the building.
Because they're cowards.
Now this is on camera. We have the band members. Now, before all this happened, I had just told my manager a month ago, we need to hire more security. We only have 3. I've been doing this, and me and the other guys been doing. We only have 3 people. We got 3 floors. We have 3 security. We don't have nobody else. We've been doing double the work. Everybody else got 8, 10 security at night. We got double the work because we still got to take out trash, and we still got to protect the place at the same time.
Busting your ass.
We're busting the ass.
You're getting your ass busted by a bunch of racist pieces of shit.
Right? So he wouldn't do it.
For minimum wage? Jesus fucking Christ.
$15 an hour. $15 an hour.
$15 an hour is dog shit.
Dog shit. So
that's McDonald's pay.
That is.
Easily. So I'm doing all this, right? So I'm telling them, so he ended up hiring the police security, those guys. Mm-hmm. The guy was on the floor flirting with a girl. He wasn't paying attention. I don't have no backup. The band members up there playing music, they see the fight. They looking at it. They never yelled it out over the mic to get my guys. They didn't say nothing. They just kept looking. They shut the door. People was recording. I mean, it's all on camera. People was recording and nobody tried to help, stop, do nothing.
Maybe stop your shitty song and be like, there's a hate crime going on outside.
Right. So none of this is going on the whole time. So I walk in the building.
Take your bass guitar and fucking start swinging like an axe.
And the crazy thing is I knew the band members because I talked to them all the time. We was cool. We always talk. We listened to all his music.
Keyword was.
Yeah, was.
Not even.
No, not anymore. So
I'd be like, hey, you didn't have my ass. What the fuck was that?
Everybody's looking at me like, Kels, what's going on? I snapping.
What the fuck do you mean what's going on?
I knock tables over. What the fuck? And I'm snapping about everything. I go to the back alley. I go to my back alley. My homeboy Drake. He just happened to just come out. I think whatever. I go to the back alley. I'm chilling. I'm trying to calm down. I say, all right, man. They don't need to see me like this. Cool. I'm in between Valentine's and the candy shop. If y'all know what that's at on Broadway, it's right there. Because I come out that back alley, right? Yeah. So I'm in between there. Next thing you know, a girl that was apparently in the fight didn't know nothing about it. The whole group was in the alley.
Shit.
The whole group. So I knew that I didn't know what they looked like either. So I didn't know. So I was just chilling by myself like, man, these motherfuckers here and like I ain't got no protection. This is bullshit. And the girl was like, hey, this your phone? Yeah, that's my phone. Wait a minute.
How do you have my phone?
Jump me. And then I about to get in the fight again. But then the security guards came in on the Valentine's came to help.
Oh, so you finally got that.
So I had my other bar that not a part of us came and helped on that, right?
Yeah.
And then Drake came up behind me and was like, no, Kelsey, don't do it, don't kill him, don't, because At that time, I was finna really go all day. Fuck this job then.
That was one of those things. Was
Yeah.
like, if you kill them, it's like, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. It's what it is.
The amount the emotion is running so high, especially when everybody around you that you trusted didn't fucking have your back.
Yeah,
and then that whole group shows up again. It's like, oh, I got my fucking chance.
And then I got
you got your phone back.
Yeah, I got my phone back. But
here's your phone back. Would you like to kill me now?
Right. Yeah. Not even 3 weeks later, I get a text message. No, hey, Kelsey, come upstairs real quick. And I had a huge sweater because it was kind of cold, so I had a loose sweater on. So I come up. He's like, they might get in an argument with this guy. I was like, all right. So I go up there, and I just remembered the guy who the guys was. They've been there all day long, been drinking. They didn't spend over $1,000 in liquor and shit. They've been drinking all day, whole crew.
$1,000 on liquor.
Yes.
I hope it was high end, or else that's a lot of
liquor for everybody.
It's like platinum vodka.
They try to get upset about it. This dude is 6'8". He was about 6'8", 6'9", 300 and something. He had a friend that didn't even know it. Two big dudes.
That's a big dude.
All I saw was I come around the corner from the tin roof. I come upstairs and come around the corner, and all I saw was the big dude standing over everybody, and my manager's talking to him and everybody else. And that's I just seen a drink, like a regular ass cup of drink, just go pour. He just picked it up and threw it on everybody. So my reaction is protection first. So I went straight to him. I just ran straight to him.
Hey.
Took him down. I took him down, just tripped him, boom, down the ground. Right. When I took him down, his friend came up behind me, grabbed my dreads from the back. So when he grabbed my dreads, I didn't really feel it because I'm pissed now because I didn't really feel it because I'm not tender-headed. So he had pulled. This dude was trying to pull the sweater over my head. So now I'm fighting both dudes. And I can't really see the dude behind me. I just know the dude in front of me.
This dude behind you think you're fighting him?
Yes.
Is that
instead
of being like trying to defuse the situation?
He thought I was fighting. So I'm trying to get people off me on my back. So I had dreads. I think it was 37 dreads on the ground.
So you're trying to
They was pulling so my middle of my head, I had so many dreads in there. So my middle of my head was real messed up because of so many dreads got pulled out at that time. Dude, and luckily I just had enough dreads to cover the spots that where it was fucked up at and try to fix it. But they pulled all the dreads out, all the dreads. I'm fighting dude. They pull my sweater off, I'm fighting big dude, and then I get the other dude out. Then my security from the bottom finally heard about it and they came upstairs to help. When we got him out, we got him downstairs, went into the restroom. We knocked one into the restroom. Well, two of them went into the restroom because the girls now they're trying to fight us, right? It's 3 against 7. 3 against 7. Now, the girls are trying to fight us. We got him in the room. My homeboy knocked dude out in the bathroom. Set him on the tub. He was on the toilet like you. Sleep on the toilet.
Done. That's
done. Sleep. So we get the other big dude out the door. We grab him, throw him into the wall, in the alley wall. Boom. Throw him out the door, out the back door. Then the girl as we turn it around, this girl comes out the back door, just full speed. I said, Roy, watch out. And when Roy turned around, he turned around in a split second and picked her, grabbed her and threw her. At the same time. But it happened.
That's the best shit. Whenever a woman is like, I'm going to fucking get into this fight, and a big dude's like, no, the fuck you're not. Just throws
and the RP to Roy, that was my guy. But he threw her so fast on camera. So after all this shit on camera, we go up the stairs and my manager, he said, this looks bad, Kelsey.
I need to see these
This is a couple times that happened. Look bad. This look bad. I said, what do you mean? He said, it looked like you did. So he showed us video. He said, on video, it looked like Roy just turned around and just grabbed it. It happened that fast.
They don't see the context.
Threw it for no reason.
They don't realize. They don't realize.
No, listen to me. I was there. It didn't happen like that.
It's like you don't realize how much Roy was on top of his fucking game that night, and he could feel her coming before he even saw her.
I've been doing security
for 4 years, and that was the one guy that I always knew was gonna have my back. RP to my guy.
There's always one dude.
Yeah, it was one. When I tell you that, and he wasn't that big.
R.I.P.
But he was from Memphis, and he was a quiet dude, and he only messed with certain people. But when he snapped, he used to snap, and it shit you up like, bro, y'all better stop messing with his little ass, because he's gonna fuck you up. And the one time that we both got in trouble, and I wasn't even in trouble, but I was gonna take the charge for him because I'm not a snitch, right? So
I have some thoughts on that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I was gonna take the charge on him, but we was at the front door. I had one other security guy, a white guy with me. Couldn't fight for shit. One didn't want to fight nothing. So he's sitting at the door, and music is playing, loud, super loud. And he said, He said, hey, Roy's fighting. And I was like, what? What are you talking about, Roy's fighting?
Roy?
And are you saying Roy's fighting? He's like, yeah, on the ramp. Why are you talking to me then about it? And so when I turned up, Roy has this dude with no shirt on, trying to get him out the bar. So I run up the ramp. I was like, what is going on? And so this girl, soon as I'm going up the ramp, his girlfriend comes out of fucking nowhere from the other side, start hitting him from the back, random. But so when they both fall, he gets up. All you see is him when he falls and he gets back up real fast. He gets up and grab her shirt and drag her on her back all the way out the bar. Drag her down the ramp. So on camera, it's like big black dude dragging a white woman on the camera with her feet in the air.
That's fucking hilarious.
And so it's hilarious. Like when we see it with,
it's like a Three Stooges scene.
Yeah. Shit's going crazy. So I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on? He said he did something to some girls over there, and that's why he had to go. So he said, but he's got to go too after he got the girl out. I said, okay, bet. So we ran back up to the ramp. When I ran back to the ramp, I just picked him up from the bottom. I just literally tackled him, picked him up over top of my shoulders, literally turned him around, ran him back down the ramp, and threw him through the 10 feet. Like
go for it.
The whole damn thing, boom, crash.
Fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy, right?
Get him off into the
I want to go home. You're done. I'm fucking clocking out, bitch.
Down, he got up and he was mad. He's like, damn, you had to do me like that, big bro. Like, you know, you
yeah, I
gotta go.
did.
I don't know what happened. You gotta go. He said, man, fuck the dude that was in there. He didn't want to fight me 101 and this and that. I said, listen, man, if I sick him on you, you're not gonna like it. Stay. I advise you to leave back. Like, just go because he's crazy. I already know he's thrown off. Like, just stay where you at. No, fuck that. I was like, and then Roy was like, just leave him alone. Going back. So Roy's thrown off. Of course, he said, leave him alone. I said, bet. So we walking in, and all I heard, I didn't even know he left. That's how fast he left my scene. Like he had literally, I turned my head this way, and he wasn't there no more. And I was like, what the?
It was like a
he's
magician.
out there fighting dude.
Oh shit!
Soon as I turned my head, he's out there. So the dude's trying to pat like. Every time Roy punched him, he went to sleep. He like boom, and he just kept waking up. He woke up, and Roy hit him again.
You kind of have to give him credit for that.
Yeah, so every time he woke
like
up,
to wake up from a nap and be like, "We're still in the fight. Go for it."
So when he woke up, he kept getting hit. You know how big brothers and little brothers, you let shit happen for a little bit because you deserve it, is whatever.
I got an older brother. We kind of
you let shit happen. Like, hey, bro, I told you not to do it. I let him hit about 3 or 4 times. And I grabbed him. I was like, it's enough, Roy.
Hey,
be good.
Yeah, you
have
to be the one to be like, you have to stop.
You have to stop it. So
because you can feel the moments like this is about to get real.
Yeah.
Let's fucking cool it down.
Let's go down. So we walk in, and then like the next day, we get a call. We get a call from a manager. It's like, hey. Remember that fight from last night? Well, they're pressing charges on y'all for assault, and you're apparently
bunch of fucking pussies.
Wow.
I was like, well, I didn't throw a punch. He was like, but I know you didn't, but you was part of the fight. Cool, bet. So the police came the next day. It was like, we're going to book y'all in for the assault, whatever. That's what we used to do all the time. Stupid shit. So we go do our paperwork. The computers in Nashville crashed.
All right, security guards.
Yes.
It's
So
nuts
fucking
that,
nuts.
like,
Yeah, we have no protection.
These people are a threat to everybody in the bar.
Yeah.
Let's take the guys whose job is to do this shit into
protect
jail.
you.
And protect me.
Yeah.
Fucking
and so
clowns.
now I'm going to court for this. And I never threw a
in
punch,
itself
right?
is nuts.
I never even said nothing. So the people never even showed up for court. This went on for 2 years. It was assault on a. I couldn't work it a lot. I couldn't go to work for no jobs because it was a pending assault court case. Because apparently when the computers crashed, my paperwork went through, but I never got the paperwork for it because he couldn't print it off. His paperwork never went through, so the police officer never came back. So when I got to jail, like I went to I think it was like 2 months later, 2 or 3 months later, I'm driving down the street, I get pulled over in Nashville. Soon I get up work, 3 o'clock in the morning, I get to Franklin, and I get pulled over and say, you got warrant for your arrest for not showing up for booking yourself. I'm like, what booking? What are you talking about? So this is 3 or 4 months later, I have no idea what's going on. I was like, I never went. He was like, well, this is apparently. So the police officer was like, I didn't even want to do it because after I read the report, it's stupid as hell. It looked like you wasn't really involved. You was just there in the situation. Yeah. But now you have to go to jail and you have to go through all this process of this. I had to book myself for assault on a cell phone.
That's the worst part when the cop is even like, I know this is bullshit.
Like,
but I'll lose my job if I don't do this.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I went there for assault on a cell phone before because the dude called me racist because I wouldn't let him in the bar on Broadway.
Yeah, a dude literally called you probably the worst slur in existence.
He said, "You're racist, sir."
And then you took not only that, but you took the time to fucking dial that in, and then somebody else attacked. Oh, what an asshole!
No, there was
what an asshole!
This was another time where a dude called me. They started recording me, and saying that because I didn't let him in because he was too intoxicated, him and his girlfriend started recording me. Hey, we're in Nashville, Tennessee. This is a black guy.
Anyone who's ever recording is
racist.
a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
He's a black guy. He's racist. He don't let white people in.
I know my
at the bar.
first.
I said, we on Broadway.
You can see like 50 white people right there.
It's only 2 black dudes.
Just be like, oh yeah, we're having fun with black people. This is fucking great.
We had maybe 10 employees that was black in the whole building.
Yeah.
We only had like 3 or 4 that was security. The rest was in the kitchen. one at a bar. So you telling me that I was racist because it's 500 white people in here? You think I didn't let you in because you was white? That's stupid.
Because you have a fake ID.
Because you have you're drunk as hell.
You're drunk. You're
drunk as hell. So,
because you're going to cause a problem,
right.
which you already are causing a problem. You're not even in the fucking building yet.
Right. I coach a bunch of different generations of kids. Like white kids, black kids, mixed kids, Mexican kids. I got everything. So you're basically putting that on my character. I coach in the youth.
Yeah.
I do this for the youth. I do this. So now you're putting this out on me. So when he kept recording, it took me a minute. I mean, it took me a while. I let him do it for a while. Then one of my guys that played for Virginia, he played football for Virginia. He was like, he just started laughing. I just gave him my stamp. I said, I'm finna knock this.
Yeah.
So I walked up to him, looked him dead in the eyes, and I was like, the phone went flying over top. You know the guy that does, have you ever seen those guys where they do the hanging thing? So the phone went across, the phone went across and landed on top of his thing. I didn't know, but that's how hard I hit it. I hit that bitch hard.
Dang, dude,
and it went far over.
You
I was over here.
You took out years of repressed rage. You're like, that's all going into this phone and this
I'm
hand.
going to go to the police officer. I was like, go to him. I don't care. Like, I'm going to tell him the same exact thing. I don't give a fuck. He came about 15 minutes later. I'm going to still at the door, and he was like, hey, I have a complaint about something about cell phone. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what happened. He was recording me, called me racist.
We got security cameras all over this place.
I smacked his phone and I didn't hit him, but I did smack his phone. I don't know where it went to. I just know it went that way. Yeah. Because I smacked. He said, how you know it went that way? Because I smacked it that way. My hand went this way. The ball there went that way.
I know there's cameras down in all those alleys. You can follow where he went from that point.
He couldn't find his phone. That was the issue. So
Fuck him.
He couldn't find his phone, right? So I said, man, I knocked it into the crowd. It's a bunch of crowds over here. I knocked it over there, so it should be over here somewhere. So we looked, we couldn't find it. Right? He was like, well, I don't know where the fuck is that. I just happened to look up. And it was hanging because the phone was black. He had an iPhone. The phone was black, and the little thing that he had was black. It was hanging off the edge about this much. And I was like, that might be it.
I think it's like spider web.
All I could think was like, damn, I hit that bitch far as hell. Like, what the fuck?
You feel like powerful. You're like, dude, I could fucking just smack that
so the
shit
dude
up.
said that he thought I stole the phone.
Oh,
and put it on top of a fucking power line?
He said, yeah, you probably stole this phone. This police officer accused me of stealing the phone. I was like,
what the?
I got my own cell phone. Why would you? He said, maybe you want to steal it to take whatever he had off online. I'm like, I didn't know what he had online. I just know he was recording.
Why would I want his child porn?
Why would I want his phone?
Why would I want that?
Like, I know that I can't get away with it, so why would I take his phone? That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, I'm telling this cop, like, why would I take his phone? So they wrote me a ticket. I had to literally book myself, go to court for assault.
Jesus Christ.
And it got dropped because they never showed up, of course.
I'm exhausted just fucking hearing about this shit. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why I said, I don't understand why people do security.
Is so hard, dude.
Why
would never do it
anyone
again.
to fucking do that?
They don't pay you enough to deal with the shit you got to deal with. This is why I don't drink. This is one of the reasons why I dealt with it. Yeah. I dealt with crazy.
This is why I do drink.
Deal with crazy drunk people every day, like for 4 years. You know, crazy drunk people for 4 years. And they had a manager that was, and then when we lost our job, it was the most fucked up. Like, we lost our job during COVID. So we was there, and then they was like, well, you know, this is the last day we're going to be here for, you know, because they're shutting down Broadway. It was like, cool. So months later, and he was like, he put me, we had 4 security at the time. It was me, Roy, and this other guy named Jared, and this guy named Will, I think it's Will or some shit. White guy. They put me, us 3, the other black dudes, in the group chat. Hey, this is a new era. We're sorry. We're gonna let you 3 go.
Yeah.
All black guys, right?
Just fucking get after it, but
took the white guy, right, and moved him to a server. I've been asking to be a server for 6. I was asking for being a server for over 2 years.
Well, you finally got it.
And he kept running me. He kept giving me the runaround of why I couldn't do it. kept giving me the runaround. Like, well, you need to learn the menu. Well, you need to do this. You need to do that. Oh, okay, you need to show up on time. Like, so.
It's like I've done all of this. I've been hate crimes. Can I not just? Can I just not go inside?
It's a bar
for
on
Christ's
Broadway.
sake.
They have Bud Light and Jack Daniels.
It's not that fucking.
It's like I can also do security inside. For God's sake, just let me fucking not have to deal with this.
That was the worst part. Like when they fired us and said that and put in a message, I was like, "That's really funny that you took the 3 black dudes that work for you, that's been here, that's been struggling. That you like. If we showed up late, if we showed up 4 minutes late for work, 3 times in a row." On Broadway, you know how hard it gets to Broadway.
Yeah,
on Broadway, if we show up 3 times, they took $1 off our pay every time.
Fuck that.
And then we had to work for 2 months straight on time to get that $1 back. To
Fuck that.
Really?
Yep.
Fuck that.
And we was the only ones going through that. We were the only people in the group that was going. Nobody else at work, even the servers,
crazy.
none of them had to go. They were like, we show up late all the time. I'm like, well, they always on us about it.
Yeah.
I'll bet not all of your coworkers are going through that.
No.
I'll bet not all of them.
Hell no.
All of them.
No.
Goddamn fucking
bullshit. It was on
bullshit.
security going through
That
it.
is crazy.
So we had to go through that. Then I went to the manager. I was like, man, look, everybody on Broadway makes $19 to $20 an hour, and this was the word crazy.
And even that is barely
and
enough.
that's barely nothing. I said,
barely
everybody's making, and this is 4
I make
years ago.
$25 an hour. It's like I'm paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, no.
I can't do shit
right?
in this fucking town.
Yeah. So after all that, we said something about it. They made a post on their own Tin Roof. This is Tin Roof. They made a post on their own page.
Yeah.
And said, we are hiring security at $19 to $22 an hour.
Wow, so they fired you guys.
We wasn't even fired. We were still working. We was only making $15 an hour. So we was gonna have to bring
They
these
were
people.
planning on firing you, hiring new people, and paying them more. Probably
And they
white
put it in
people
our
too.
face. Oh yeah, of course. They put it in our face. So we got to work. So we got to work. It was like, that's bullshit. We told them, man.
Listen,
like,
we want to pay.
dude.
We want to pay more people to not have to listen to hate crimes.
Yeah.
That may or may not happen, but definitely
We never
also
understood
fucking
why
happen.
they wouldn't give a raise. So when I went to the boss. I went to the guy that's over everybody. He ran the building, like he does everything. So I went to him. I was like, hey man, I think, what about raises? Are we getting raises here? And he's like, what are y'all making right now? Because he's just the owner of the building. I was like, well, we make $15 an hour. He said, what's the rate right now? I said, everybody's at least $20 an hour. That's just not even the regular point. He was like, well, that sounds right. Like, y'all should make that much if everybody else is doing it. The next day I come in, my manager brought me to the office. Like, why the fuck you gonna tell the manager? Why you gonna talk to him about your raise? Didn't I tell y'all about your raise? Like, no, you didn't tell me. He said,
No, you didn't say shit.
I was like, you didn't say nothing. He said, well, if y'all show up every day on time, y'all will get y'all raise.
It's like, well, I fucking tried, but this fucking town
I
sucks.
was like, what? I said, we've been doing all this work. You tell me I still got to, this is 4 years in. I've been making the same amount of money for 4 years. Are you telling me what?
Yeah.
Wow,
Also,
that was nuts,
it's
dude.
like I work for the government.
And
If I got
have to come
hate
in
crimes,
late.
I get double the
we
fucking
don't get out
salary.
till 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. We got to come in at 6, 5:30, 4:30.
It's fucking
sometimes
exhausting, man.
And you walking all day. You dealing with crazy people.
It's
and
bullshit.
Loud
You
music
are
all day.
fighting a
Your
lot of
legs
those
are killing
crazy
you.
racists, dude.
There's drunk retards that just want to come up to you. You know, I
Drunk,
fucking
racist,
said it.
crazy
Retards.
people.
Drunk retards
Drunk
that come up and just want to
idiots.
fire off slurs at somebody's just trying to do their
That's why
fucking
that
job.
Kid, that's why that kid got killed. Was it about a month ago? 10
Yeah.
2 months. 2 months.
He got
ago?
drugged. He got fucked up.
He got drunk.
He
got fucked
drowned
up,
in that river.
and called. No, it was another guy. He got in a fight. He got in a fight with one of the guys in
that's
security.
right. Yeah.
He got because he called him the N-word.
There's a lot of people that
shit.
die on
That's
Broadway.
exactly why he
Thinking of a
punched him in.
different one.
When he punched him, he hit the ground, hit that spot in the head, and killed him.
Which, by the way, if I
Yes.
can
fuck,
just
I
say,
forgot about that.
it's like I know. At the end of the day, you probably should never get in a fight with anybody. You should never find yourself in a physical altercation.
Yeah.
Every party is like, you shouldn't do that. But if you're a dude, a black dude, that gets called the N-word, and you punch a dude,
Punch him.
and he happens to fall and crack his skull open and die, should you be fucking charged for murder for that?
so.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got first degree too.
First
Really?
degree.
Got to give him first degree. Yeah, but I think it should be manslaughter if it's gonna be anything.
At the most.
At the
Here's
most.
the thing. At the most, it should be manslaughter. But at the same time, it's
5
like,
years probation, no time.
yeah, it's like
That's how I
that.
look at it.
That's an altercation that went wrong that nobody was planning on any of that shit
the dude
to
has
happen.
never been in trouble before.
Yeah,
The
he's
dude
got a clean
never,
record.
He got a clean record.
Oh,
Never been in trouble.
yeah,
Never been in trouble at
dude.
work. I know him, so he never been in trouble at work either.
But here's the thing. I don't want to get too political, but if it was me with a clean record,
a different story.
and he called my buddy the N-word, and I did that, I might be getting a different fucking sentence.
That's what I'm saying. It sucks.
It's so
You know,
weird.
it's not. You know, what somebody said to me, it's not when people, you know, how people like to complain like white privilege and this and that. It's not even that.
It is. It's real.
It's just
Yeah, it
real.
is.
It's just real stuff in life. Like I tell people, like somebody was explaining to me. This was the most funniest story. This girl said. She's like, yeah, my family owns a ranch. Well, over 37,000 acres in Michigan.
Jesus.
I said, damn.
That's
She like this
fucking
is
island.
I said, this is 5 generations of family. And I was like,
That's historical.
I was like, wait a minute, 5 generations, and your granddaddy right now is 94. So
they
y'all
go back in time.
So I'm going back in time now. This is 1600s.
That's before the
dude,
Emancipation
that's like-
Proclamation.
I said, so you saying y'all didn't have? She's like, yeah, we worked our ass off. I said, so. I said, okay,
got
this
the
is.
land.
I said, who gave you this
Who worked
land?
harder, though?
I said, who gave you this land? I said, who was here? Who was in America first? And it was like Indians. I was like, okay. So how'd you get the? How did you?
Indians.
Yeah, right. How'd you get the claim? How'd you get the claim to this land? It's like, well, we worked our ass to get it. I said, it's a point where you had to claim. Well, who gave you this land? Where did your family come from? What slave you have in the family that helped y'all build this? And she's like, nobody. We did it all our own. I was like, all right, now I'm done with the conversation.
All right, fuck it.
I'm not gonna argue with you about this.
That's
no
also the weird thing with like
It's
my
okay.
ancestry being like Irish and Scottish. I
Right.
can relate so much to like Native American, anything like African. Well, to an extent. I
Right.
mean, obviously, it's not to that extreme, but in the same sense, where it's like, hey, this is our land. We've already been here.
Yeah.
And then suddenly these people just show up. They got higher fucking firepower, and they just take over
off.
everything.
Yeah, take off. Like,
That's
own
why
the
Free
37
Belfast is still a
Mhm.
thing with Northern Ireland, where it's like the UK is still like, we have control. It's
Yep.
like, just fucking let us have this.
Yeah,
just
30
let us fucking have this.
What you have? 37,000, and they're the biggest dairy farm
Yeah.
in America, and they do dairy and stuff. And it's like my family works, and it's been going down. I said, well, look at your house. You live in West Haven. You live in West Haven right now. You have a nice house now. You got a 5. You don't really.
That was a nice
you
area.
you gotten to a point where it's. I said the difference is between black and white. It's like the generation part where that black people want to get rid of it because it's what they've been. They don't know about keeping it. They don't understand about generation wealth. They've never been taught that, so they don't know about keeping it in the family to keep the land building up to build you.
Whereas we can be like, hey, bud.
Hey, but yep.
Have you heard about swaps?
Yeah. Let's go in and put these.
If you check out Wall Street,
yes.
let me tell you a couple things. Take $5, that could be 500.
Yeah, 500 easily. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They don't
You ever
know
heard
that.
of blue chip? I'll fucking tell you about a blue chip. You're gonna wait 2 years, but that shit's gonna be fucking solid, man.
It's a family. I forgot what the neighborhood called. It's in Franklin, Tennessee, and it's a neighborhood in Franklin that it used to be run by slave owners, right? It used to be slavers right there. It's a neighborhood. It's all the way. It's in a nice, real nice neighborhood. And apparently, when they was passing
That's
away
always
as
the worst
a family,
part.
it's a really nice
It's
place.
a beautiful
It's a
area.
beautiful area, right?
All this evil that was right here,
it's
but god damn, it's
But
beautiful.
they end up passing the land to all the slaves.
Oh.
So all those black people own these nice houses.
Wait,
in
so
this
they
black,
gave the
it
land to the slaves?
So I didn't find it out until some guy
I'm
came
sorry,
to my
but-
job and she was talking to me about this place in Franklin. I was like, "You talking about those nice big ass houses in the going towards Columbia or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah, over there." That's their last name. That's because it's a slave that used to own it that gave it to his black. It's all a bunch of black families that live back there.
How much
Like,
more?
Nice, dude.
How much more would the slaves on Juneteenth be so pissed off if they heard they were enslaved for 2 years longer? Well, I was about to say 2 years longer than they should have been. They should never have been enslaved.
Yeah.
But like 2 years longer than the Emancipation Proclamation, they're like, hey, 5 years ago, these guys, they're just like, just take the mansion. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just have it. It's a beautiful area too.
Because it kills me with that whole area where they're
They're like, we've been here for
Well,
2
people
more
talk
years
about
than this shit.
right. People talk about that slave stuff and then Civil War and how it all happened. And I went to like a deep dive one weekend, and I just went on deep dive and like what cotton gin and all that took over and the reason why. And really, the South should have
It's
fucking
really-
won. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
really a capitalistic
Yeah.
kind of venture.
Yeah, it's a
Whereas, like
capitalist
the
thing.
moment they invented the cotton gin, then they're just like, well, why are we fighting this again?
Why we fighting this again?
Oh,
Mhm.
it's like we're not actually. It's like maybe we're not actually racist. We just want money.
We want money.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's
because the North was rich. South is poor.
Yeah.
But the South is
And
better
it's always
fighters.
been that way.
Yeah, the South is better fighters, right? Than the North.
Because they're poor.
Because they're poor.
So like, we got nothing else to do. Let's fucking kill them.
So
Dude, we'll
they beat the North ass besides 2 wars. Whoop their ass. I mean, the guy that's here, Bedford, won every war besides that one major one. That what killed.
Gettysburg.
That's what murdered them. That's what got them out of there.
Yeah.
But then also the
Gettysburg.
gun. You know, they had different guns. The Revolution War, they used the same guns for the Revolution War. But the problem was, when the Civil War came, you know, they invented a piece in the gun to make it more accurate. So that's why there was so many kills more.
Yeah.
Because at first they couldn't, they do their single file line, one gun, they was missing so much because the gun was not accurate at all. And when they put that piece in there, it made it so much accurate. So people was dying left and right.
people were getting hit.
That's why they changed it up there.
You read some of the letters that were like found from those battlefields too. It's
Mm-hmm.
like people would talk about how the soil was just soaked in blood. Like they would have to step over corpse after corpse to fucking just get to their own camp. Where it's like it was one of the most brutal battles in all of American history, and it's like it was among our own soil, where everybody was just like, "Oh, hey, we should own people. Hey, maybe we shouldn't. Let's blow the fuck out of each other."
Lincoln own people, like they own their own people. Everybody owned their own people, but the South just took it. I think the reason why is the South didn't want to get rid of them people because they knew that
They didn't want change.
because North had cotton gin. The South had the people, Africans working for them.
Well,
they didn't want that changing to happen to them.
As
They lose
with
money.
the cotton gin, they had already spent so much money on buying slaves, quote unquote slaves, also actual real people, that they, once the cotton gin was fucking invented, they're like, oh shit, we could have just done this the whole time. Well, fuck. Well, that's also the whole thing with like Juneteenth, where it's like the idea that the Emancipation Proclamation was put through. All those people down in Texas, like those slave owners, they were just like, just don't tell them.
Like, we're not, to keep it a fucking secret.
It's like they don't have a fucking cell phone. They're not going to fucking text us. It's like you're not going to get a notification on your phone like an Amber Alert. Hey, let all the slaves free.
Well, slaves in Tennessee were owning homes, right?
It's like that great Steve McQueen movie, 12 Years a Slave, a guy who bought his way into freedom, which he should have been free to begin with, but he bought his way into freedom, and then he just fucking wound up on the wrong ride, and he became a slave for another 12 years.
If you see when people like it was 300 years ago, this and that, I was like, it's not even the issue. I said the issue is when you turn it on social media or you turn it on any TV, and the first thing you see is, and as kids you're growing up and you go through your history classes when you're Boys and Girls Club, you get to watch all the videos for the slaves like getting killed, getting bit by dogs, and you have to watch it as a
It's like the civil rights kind of thing. They're turning on the hoses and all that.
Yeah. So then when you get out to the real world and now you see it now police got cameras on them and people got cameras everywhere. Now you can't really hide from shit.
You can't.
So now when you see it and be like, man,
we got a camera right here.
We got a camera right there. And the first thing you see on the
No hate crimes here. This is the DNP show. It's all inclusive, buddy.
The first thing you see on that the headline, right, is an unarmed black man or woman got killed by a white cop.
The moment you just hear the unarmed black man in a news story, you're like, oh, Jesus
Fires
Christ.
up.
Oh, fuck.
Don't do it.
Oh, no.
And like what really ticked me up, it was two instances what really made me mad, the worst part of it. When that kid got killed in the park, he was 12, he was young, 8, 9, 10. He was shooting, he had a plastic gun. And this white woman was like, hey, this kid is in the park with a plastic gun. I don't know if he's a kid or he's putting in, he has a gun, he's a white woman. So the police pulled up to the parking lot. Soon they pulled in, they came out, drawn guns, shot him. It was like seconds. He didn't even get a chance. He was like, boom.
What story was this?
I forgot exactly what it's called.
But there was just a kid playing with a fucking like a softball gun.
Remember, right? And then there was another one where it's a principal. It was a principal. He got pulled over with his daughter in the car, with his wife in the car. He was driving. I guess they pulled him over and said his light was out or something. I forgot what it said. So when the dude was in the car, he said, "Look, I am armed. I have a gun. It's in my glove box. But also my registration's in there right now. Can I reach for it to get to my registration?" And it's clearly on day. Like he said it calmly. He's like, He's like, yeah, you can't.
Says it.
And
Is that
then,
Philando Castile
I think
that
so,
fucking
yep.
reached in?
yeah, and
He's
reached
like,
in.
hey, I did everything I could. I'm gonna reach the glove compartment. And the cop was like, he's got a fucking gun.
gun
he
and
just-
shot him in front of his daughter, in front of his thing. Like, and then I tell people all the time, like, just think about what Kaepernick did, right? If you continue to see the same shit over and over again, and we're supposed to stand up for America, why do you think he did it? Why do you think he did it? It's the biggest platform he could have did it for him.
And it's like,
he could have did it at home. He
here's
could
the
have
thing.
done it. At
Here's
the
also
gym.
the thing with like Trump getting on his ass for like taking a knee during the flag.
Yeah.
He only did that.
Because another Marine said it was.
Yeah, he only did that
was-
because most of his base was being like, "Oh, fuck that guy for it." So
He
Trump
was
was.
doing that for the views, exactly.
Yeah, there might have been a point where Trump was like, "Well, they are killing a lot of black people."
Like, okay, this is why I say what it's like. All right, when we watching NFL, watching national anthem, how many times you been at a party and you see everybody stand up and put their hand up? Have you ever been at a party where they did national anthem and people put their hand up?
I've been at a few where everybody ran.
Ran.
Yeah.
Ran.
I've been everybody's, fuck this! We gotta get out of here.
We had our hats on. We're chilling on the couch, watching the TV. Cool, national anthem. Good. It's
Yeah,
over.
just
Let's watch the
chilling.
football game.
Big chilling.
All right, cool. Now you want to be patriotic for this situation, right? So what about if you
Well,
walk on this
depends.
football field, right, and somebody gets hurt on this football field? What do you do when somebody gets hurt on the football field? Anybody? We sit there and take a knee. That is the most respectful way to get away from the person. We take a knee out of respect.
Well, a knee was
God,
also
that's
originally
right.
like from the military, where it's like if you want to just like disjoint from everyone around you, you would just want to take a knee. It's what we did in football and
Yeah.
any kind of sport where it's like, hey, everybody, come in, take a knee,
Take a knee.
show some respect,
respect.
just
And
fucking be
when
a
did-
part of this.
When did one knee cause so much disrespect?
It was only
my
because
God was
Colin
here.
Kaepernick.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? When did one knee? Because when did a knee ever become this? Think about your God. If you have a God and your God was like, "Come and kneel for me, son,"
Yeah.
what you gonna do?
Well, it was also
kneel.
originally because Colin Kaepernick would like sit out the national anthem. He would just like sit on the bench, and then like a Marine told him, "It's like, hey, bud, if you want to get the point across, while also at the same time, it's like because it's a national anthem, they're gonna get fired up because
Yeah, yeah.
it's the military. If you take a knee." You're still showing respect to the military and doing that. So Colin Kaepernick was like,
And
"Oh
America
shit,
don't- right.
so I never wanted to fuck
Right,
with the
right.
troops or anything like that."
America
so we
doesn't
started
even
doing that.
care about their troops.
And then, no, of course not. The
don't
VA
care.
doesn't give a shit about the
No,
troops.
they don't
the
give a
country doesn't
fuck.
care. They hope they fucking die
don't
over there.
give a
They
fuck.
fucking hope they die
They don't
over there.
give a
This
fuck.
country's fucking evil. The government is fucking bullshit.
They don't
They
care.
don't fucking care, man.
So when you
They all fuck each other, and they hope us
everybody-
poor people die from AIDS that they
do.
created and COVID that they created.
they created all that shit.
They want us all to die.
Man,
yeah. He hears
you do a lot of things. You fuck up a lot of things, dog.
Yeah.
You fuck up a lot of things.
Yeah, you fuck up some shit, man. I cannot deal with. The government is when people were so patriotic.
full of
I'm
shit.
Like, y'all are full of shit because y'all are not as patriotic as you think you is.
The last time you should have ever been patriotic was right before John F. Kennedy got his fucking brains blown out.
Yep.
He was the last guy to actually give a shit about
about
the
the
actual American people.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
that's
right.
why anybody talking about this upcoming presidential election, I get so fucking angry that
Who's
people,
running?
Biden and Trump, who
Yep.
gives a shit?
The two
And
oldest.
RFK.
Yeah,
They both
two
died.
brain dead retards. Who fucking cares? Who
both died.
fucking cares?
That's right.
They both was born right before slavery was over.
Anyone that's
Right,
ever
dude,
given
literally.
a shit about this country has been shot. Save for a few. I mean, Andrew Jackson or Ronald Reagan, that's debatable. But Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham
Roosevelt.
Lincoln, fucking John F. Kennedy, all three of those guys, they were people of the people.
FDR.
And they got killed for
great
it.
speaker.
They got killed. FDR, yeah, well, he got killed by polio.
Yeah, polio got him.
The
But
FDR,
fantastic
great speaker. He was elected 4 times. He had a pretty good run, but he did pretty great, honestly.
It's crazy shit. That's why I don't trust.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't trust them at all.
Don't
No.
trust any of the organizations.
When they talk about shit, I just be like, I don't give a fuck.
No,
Like,
I
live
watch
my
people-
life every day, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing I woke up this morning to do.
I watch people argue the same way. That's like, oh, I saw off of MSNBC, and it's like, oh, I saw off of Fox News. It's like you've given up on being an individual. You've
Yeah.
given up on being a person.
just trash,
You have
dude.
you've stopped trying. and you just decided, I'm just going to allow this to brainwash me. I will volunteer for this to brainwash me so I can just
indulge in it.
be comfortable knowing I don't have to think about this shit
Think
anymore.
about it no more. Yeah.
Fuck it.
What we're trying to say is, folks, don't trust the government and
What we're
listen
trying
to
to say
sports radio like normal people.
Yeah. Here's what we're trying to say. Vote, but also your vote doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
And with that, we do need to wrap up. We're at the 3-hour mark. Over
Holy
the
shit,
3-hour
are we?
mark.
Holy shit, we are.
So we love you guys, and fuck you all. Good night.
I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah.